Next play, Stanford confused. Penn State can get a point here. Bremner, left side. And off the hands, out of bounds. The toothless one, Christy Cochran, gets the rip.
Both teams looking a little disheveled offensively. They're both, there's the tooth. She looks like a boxer, not a volleyball player. But both teams trying to run new offensive plays to give their opponent new looks, but they're not communicating very well early on.
Stanford doing a lot of tipping right now. And Cochran shovels it over. 5-2, Stanford ahead. Into the middle, nobody there. Ball blocked. Walsh makes a nice play. She fists it up, and Focal with the drive. It's dug. Cochran, left side. Cochran's got a tough matchup trying to hit against Walsh. Walsh over the top and down. Carrie Walsh is a 6'2 sophomore from Saratoga, California. She led the Cardinal with 22 digs in the semifinal.
Substitution in for the Cardinals.
And she is destined for greatness. (5-2). And just into the game, number 12, Sarah Clark, the sophomore from Hawaii, who sparked the Cardinal in the semifinal, is in.
She and McNamee were the two role players that really stepped up and were key players when Kristen Focal wasn't at her best.
Tip, Focal, can she get it? Yes, she does. Linesman saying it was out of bounds, but Cochran puts it away anyway.
Stanford playing some tremendous defense. Penn State wanted to tip as much as they could to get sharply on the ground, but Focal with incredible hustle. The line judge actually raised her flag, but the up official, Verna Club-Meekin, overruled the call, said that the ball went inside the antenna.
Lauren Kachiamani, number 2, goes out, and Kalna Miller, a 5'7 sophomore for Pittsburgh, is in. Game 1, Stanford ahead. On the outside, the big Ruth Schoenfeld. No, make that Anderson and Zamitis.
And that's the exact matchup that Russ Rose wanted, while changing the starting rotation. Put Zamitis up against that L2 spot, whether it's Clark or Gregory. Let her dominate both hitting and blocking.
Off the block, into the middle, Paula McNamee. McNamee getting the blast. She replaced Eileen Murphy this year and has had a tremendous season. Now she will go out, and the top defensive player in terms of a defensive specialist is in, Sarah Neal, a junior from Pacific Palisades, California. Into the middle, Zamitis tips it straight down. I kind of think that Zamitis is the key. She has to play great in terms of mental stability for her team.
Right, the mental edge goes to Zamitis and Penn State if Zamitis has a great game. That's why this matchup is so good for her. Watch her run both the 3 and the slide exclusively.
Big blast in the middle. Barbara Efejiga, maybe the most underrated player in college volleyball. Senior from Ontario, Canada. 4-year starter. 6'3", Stanford. Good pass. Walsh with the jump serve. Cochran rolls it. It hit the linesman. That means it's out of bounds, and Stanford gets another point.
And Penn State with very uncharacteristic, unforced hitting errors. 4 errors with just 5 kills for the Nittany Lions. That is clearly the difference early on.
Our first time out of the afternoon. Penn State trying to regroup. Stanford off to a good start.
All right, Kay.
When Coach hands you a uniform, the first thing you think is, who else wears this number?
Keisha. Shauna. Teresa.
Some years, you get lucky.
What are you thinking about out here?
I don't know. I just don't think this perm looks natural.
Perm? You think you've got problems? Take a look at these split ends.
Men don't really talk about their hair, but they do want it under control. Pert Plus shampoo has built-in conditioners to give you that control. So until guys want more...
That's it. I'm bringing in Fisher. He's got those nice highlights.
Take control with Pert Plus.
Welcome back to the Spokane Arena here in the great state of Washington. The NCAA championship match. Christy Cochran, who lost a tooth at 5-0.
And it hasn't even bothered her. Look at this, the elbow right in to the mouth of Christy Cochran, but she's come out fighting 2 kills early on.
Penn State having trouble putting the ball away, hitting at .059. Here comes Zamitis. The set was too high. Ball dug up. Bremner sets left. Here comes Cochran. Over the top she goes. Great diving save by Kristen Focal. A very underrated defensive player. 7-3. Bremner tries to jam. She can't. Cochran scoops it right side. Zamitis long. Oh, and Focal diving. Here comes Clark. Free ball Penn State. Bremner sets left. Cochran one-on-one, and Focal's there again. There's no court yet. Bremner slam dink.
Kristen Focal is amazing. She is so instinctive and reactive to the ball. Watch how quick she hustles after the ball, then gets up and saves the very next play. A great scoop. She is the perfect player to play middle back defense.
Jump serve. Walsh handles it pretty well. Here comes Walsh out of the back line. Good up by Miller. Zamitis is off balance. So far, those two haven't connected. Bremner and Zamitis. Will she set her here? Bremner sets left. Schoenfeld. And that ball, that's double. That's 4 contacts. The second player cannot block it. The first player can block it and then play it, but the second player cannot. And Afedjica knows that. 7-4 as Penn State gets a point, and the jump serving so far fairly effective for Penn State. Until then, very difficult to bring out jump serves in a national championship match.
Christy Cochran practiced it all day yesterday and today. She was great in warm-ups, talking to Russ Rose, felt very confident. But Jamie Gregory is one that's been jump serving all season, and she's been very effective with it.
Had 3 aces to spark her team in the semifinal. Passes up there, Bremner. Oh, great up by Schoenfeld. Zamitis whacks it. Neal goes and gets it. Stanford looking for a point here. Here comes Walsh. And wow, what a cover by Afedjica. And both teams playing well now. Juices are flowing. 7-4. Stanford with the lead, and the loopy out of bounds.
Both teams playing tremendous defense. Schoenfeld with the pancake out of left front to keep the rally alive. Both teams' transition game excellent so far.
Lauren Cacciamani, number 2, returns. Sophomore from New Jersey.
She comes into the backcourt specifically to provide a back row attack. Another offensive weapon for setter Bronny Bremner.
Penn State with a record of 34 wins and only 1 loss. The lone loss to Wisconsin in Madison on Halloween night in front of 6,000 crazies. There's a good dig there. Bremner tries to slap it. Great up by Sarah Neal. Out of the back line, here comes Walsh unmolested, and she pounds it through.
What Penn State wants to do in this match is give Walsh the ball as often as they can on defense so she can't get up and hit out of the backcourt. Terry Zamitis last night said we have to watch out for the Walsh factor. We're going to take away her offense as much as possible.
Walsh with a couple of kills so far. 8-4 is our score, and the put away. Would you say that Penn State must get the middles involved?
I think that's the key. Controlling the middle of the court for Penn State is a key. Their middle blocking tandem with Zamitis and Cacciamani, I think, are the best in the nation.
Round the horn, Focal, and the Cardinal is doing something amazing. There's spiker coverage. You don't see this in box scores. When someone spikes, the block comes back, and your teammates pop it up. That's what Stanford is doing unbelievably.
The key to great coverage is to be still on contact and be very low to the ground. They're doing both of those things.
Now Penn State on the attack in white. Schoenfeld dug by Jamie Gregory. And it's shoveled over, but not quite far enough. So Penn State will get the ball back.
Stanford knew coming in that Penn State is the second best blocking team in the nation, so they have to cover to play well today.
Shank pass, Afedjica. Scoop it left side. Here comes Focal, and Focal whacks it off the block. Out of bounds.
Kristen Focal with a great start. She was slow to start against Florida, but 3 kills now for Kristen Focal. And the great box set, Lisa Sharpley, a second-team All-American. A great setter.
Sarah Clark back into the front line. Off speed, Sharpley is there. Out of the back line, Focal puts it away. Now Kristen Focal came into this match with 1,811 career kills, second in school history behind the great Kristen Klein. Klein with 1909, so Focal has to go for about 98 kills today to have a chance. Of course, you never know with her. You don't put any limits on the great Focal. Put away, McNamee.
That is what what makes Walsh such an offensive weapon. When Lisa Sharpley has to dig the ball, which Penn State wants to do quite a bit, Sharpley can get it up to Walsh. Walsh can either attack or set that quick attack.
Stanford playing unbelievably well at the moment. The Cardinal up by 6 in game 1.
Will she say, I love it? You shouldn't have. It's just what I wanted. Or will she say, nothing at all? The diamond solitaire necklace. This Christmas goes straight for the heart.
A diamond is forever. De Beers.
You worry? You're overprotective? You're a parent. Isn't it nice to know that there's something almost effortless you can do to protect your family even more? Just ask your State Farm agent for a free family insurance checkup. It's a smart way for you to decide if your family's insurance coverage is up to date, so they'll be better protected. And maybe you'll worry a little less.
State Farm is there.
Welcome back to Spokane, Washington. Stanford all over Penn State in game 1, leading 10-4. Two of the great coaches in the country. Two of the best in terms of percentage.
You look at these percentages, but you also have to realize Russ Rose in 19 years has never had fewer than 26 victories in one season. But Don Shaw does have those 3 national titles to his credit.
If Don Shaw wins today, he'll become the first coach ever to have 4 NCAA championships in women's volleyball. Penn State not playing badly. Stanford just playing at another level right now. The Nittany Lions seem to be passing well, but they have to get their middle hitters going.
Well, Stanford got off to such a great start with that 5-0 start. Penn State now starting to get their block involved and also playing better defense. They have to cut down on the hitting errors.
Great pass there. Stanford scrambles and gets it up. Bremner back set. Anderson rejected.
Anderson has to get involved. She has 3 hitting errors, no kills early on in this first game, and she is somebody that has been a very stable performer all season long.
Sarah Clark with the block, and Sarah Neal with the serve. Neal with 10 digs in the semifinal. Into the middle, Zemaitis, and the tip not going. She's got 2 players on her, 2 jumping with Zemaitis. And let's see, ball hit off the block, out of bounds, so give the kill to Christy Cochran.
And it's the little intangibles that you don't notice, but Penn State, every time it has to tip, it tips to Stanford's right side of the court, forcing Walsh or Sharpley to touch virtually every ball and take them out of their setting rhythm.
You saw Lelani Schottfeldt come in, the 5'10 freshman from Brasilia. 10-4 is our score. And Schottfeldt makes the dig. Bremner tries to jam. She can't. Left side, and falling down was Cochran. Cochran slipped in an apparent wet spot. And the Cardinal will have it. And set the launch is Kerry Walsh.
Well, you saw those hitting percentages a few minutes ago. Just how important is that statistic? Well, virtually every national champion has either led or been in second place in the nation in hitting percentage. Right now, Penn State second in the nation, Stanford third. So that will be a key stat to follow throughout this entire match.
11-4 now as Barbara Afedjica jams one down, and another substitution coming right back in is Lindsay Anderson. The Russ Rose wheeling and dealing in terms of substitutions. He has already used his 2 timeouts, and it's 11-4 as Walsh misses the jumper. And now Cochran will have it.
Looks like Cochran's going to stay down on this one rather than go for the high-risk shot, keep the ball in play.
Perhaps figuring maybe this game is lost. She wants to save her energy. Bremner socks it, and Walsh is right there. Right side, down the line, hammer, and give the kill to Sarah Clark.
Clark, who has been an on-again, off-again starter all season long, just a sophomore, been splitting time with both Jamie Gregory and Debbie Lambert, but she was crucial last night. On Thursday night in the finals, 9 kills with a .318 hitting percentage.
NCAA championship match. We're live. Glad you're with us. I'm Chris Marlowe. My partner is Heather Cox, and that is Terry Zemaitis. Just her 2nd kill. Zemaitis on the year hit .359, 394 kills. She's a great player, and they have to get her involved. Great serve, and that's going to be a point. Make it 11-5 now. Stanford up by 6. Perfect pass by Stanford. Set left. Here comes Focal, and Zamitis digs her. Sharply takes a whack at it, and now they're going to say it's out. It was out wide. Tremendous dig by Zamitis. She
hustles in after serving on the deep serve and just pops up right in her basket. Focal hits it right at the numbers. You have to credit Zamitis' tough, deep serving, though, for those 2 points.
Stanford coach Don Shaw calling a quick timeout. Well, we have some college football coming your way. Right after us, on the deuce, the Las Vegas Bowl. Air Force, led by Blaine Morgan, 10-2, a running squad against the aerial attack of the Oregon Ducks and Achilles Smith. Don't miss that today on the deuce. Well, the tree, the Cardinal mascot, happy at the moment. Nittany Lions saying, whoa, not feeling too good at the moment, but perhaps inspired by the Zamitis dig. Senior classes for both these schools, magnificent.
Almost flawless. Stanford with 8 losses overall. Penn State 16, but you look at those percentages. 94% win rate for Stanford. 5 seniors on this Stanford squad, so they're going to be reloading but not rebuilding next year.
In the 3 years that Stanford has won the championship, 92, 94, 96, Stanford won game 1. And the outside hitters hit well. The one they lost in 95 to Texas, the Cardinal lost game 1 and did not advance to the finals. So Kristen Focal, Stanford Cardinal right now leading 11-6. Stanford 1 timeout remaining. Good pass there by Walsh. Tip. Nice up. Out of the back line, Zamitis. Too much tipping. Stanford is there. Back set sharply. Roofed. Point, Penn State.
Walsh trying to be deceptive, going back to the setter, Lisa Sharpley. Don't forget, she set a 6'2", meaning she was a hitter the first 2 years of her collegiate career. 3 straight points for Penn State, and the put away for Barbara Ifejica, a 4-year starter, a career .320 hitter right there. Yet she gets no pub. There's not a lot of pub on this team. There's so many great players as McNamee checks back into the front line. Ifejica serving. Penn State trailing 11-7. Been a solidly played game 1. Both teams a little tentative early. But Carrie Schoenfeld hasn't been tentative at all. 4 kills now for the sophomore. Penn State has a brilliant sophomore class. Bremner in the middle. Bremner has it up. Chance for a point. Hachiamani, and there's Walsh again. Walsh is a great defensive player despite the fact that she's 6'2". And Penn State realizes that, but they still want to give the ball to her as much as she can, hoping that that will take her out of offense in the back row. 4 straight points for Penn State now. Nittany Lions starting to come on. Focal cross court out of bounds. Well, Russ Rose talks about how do you defend Focal. Well, he calls it the Ted Williams shift. That Red Sox hitter that hit 400 was a pull hitter, and that's exactly how he sees Focal. So he takes the block and forces her to go sharp cross court and hopefully hit out of bounds. 5-zip. Jamie Gregory came in to calm down the passing. Penn State can pull to within 1 right here. Zamitis. Oh, it looked like her foot was on the line, but nobody. Oh, they did see it. Her little, what do you call that toe at the end of the rhythm? Your little, pinky. The little piggy, yeah, was just on the line. This little piggy went over the line. Terry Zamitis with a very aggressive approach. Nice set out of the back row. There it is, her left foot. You cannot touch it at all. Stanford led early, 5-0. Christy Cochran got her tooth knocked out. Stanford led just moments ago 11-4, but Penn State has scored 5 in a row, and the Nittany Lions in white with the ball now, trying to catch up. Over the top, great dig by Bremner. Chance for a point here, left side, Cochran shovels it through. Christy Cochran. 11-10 now as Penn State down by just a digit and can tie on this serve. Don Shaw has 1 timeout left. I think he'll wait until Penn State ties, hoping his team can side out. Sharply looping, and down the line goes Walsh. Well, you can be sure of your Penn State. When Stanford gets in trouble, it's either going to her, Kerry Walsh, or Kristen Focal. There's a look at the patch on her shoulder. She had off-season shoulder surgery way back in April, but it has not healed. This week, really the first week that she is playing nearly pain-free. Bremner left side, Cochran blasts it, and
Fejica can't handle it. Well, right now, Bremner doing a pretty good job because the middles are jumping with Zamitis, and she's getting one-on-one outside to Cochran. Substitution, Cacciamani goes out, and back in is Kalna Miller out of Mount Lebanon High School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A dancer for 10 years, trying to make that ball jump. Here comes McNamee. Bremner. Can Schoenfeld get it? No, not that time. Big hit right side, McNamee. 5 kills for Paula McNamee.
Both setters running a very distributed offense. Every hitter getting involved early on.
Stanford 11, Penn State 10, game 1. Serving is McNamee. Lollipop down the middle, great pass there. Zamitis with some tunder.
I love it. Barbara Fejica just came down and nodded her head and said, great hit. And that's exactly what it was. A great one-foot approach by Zamitis.
Penn State serves it into the bottom of the net. The 3rd service error for the Nittany Lions. Stanford has 3. So Stanford back with the ball, and here comes the jumper off Kerry Walsh.
Walsh, who hasn't been jumping all season long, broke it out in the semis.
Another perfect pass, off speed. Walsh is there. Little tip. Trying to sneak it in. Bremner tries to slap it. Walsh is there. Sharply left side. Look out below. Neal tees off and puts it away. Now check that. That's Sarah Clark. I got the Sarahs mixed up for a moment. Sarah Clark is the hitter. Sarah Neal is the digger.
And Clark and Gregory complement and make a great outside hitter tandem. Gregory playing in the backcourt, Clark in the front.
Russ Rose trying to make a substitution, and he does. Trying to throw off the jump serve rhythm. Coming back in is Leilani Schlattfeld. See what Walsh does with this after 12-10. Left side, Cochran, tip. Oh, and Walsh comes sliding in and risks it up. Bremner whacks it. Walsh is there again. Zamitis. Focal is there with a dig. And double contact. Fejica and Sharp. The big players for Stanford are unbelievably good on defense.
And you wonder how long Russ will stay with his philosophy of going to the right side of the court every time, because Walsh has been tremendous on defense, but it does take her out of that back row attack.
12-10 is our score. Walsh shoots it left side and inside the block of Zamitis. That's one that Zamitis could have had. The 3rd kill for Sarah Clark. She also has 2 blocks, so she's been a key. Clark will serve. Down the middle, another good pass. I don't know why they're serving Schoenfeld unless they want to try to tire her out. Schoenfeld is passing perfectly and hitting well with 5 kills.
Yeah, Don Shaw sees the one weakness in Penn State, that they only have Schoenfeld and Cochran as their 2 primary passers and don't have another option. So I think he's trying to wear them out, break them down.
Here comes Kristen Focal going cross court. Dig is made. Oh, and the ball is missed by Schoenfeld. She couldn't handle the knuckler on that play, and the ball back to Stanford.
Boy, both teams well above their season average in kills per game. It's been an offensive duel in this first game of the championship match.
Lindsay Anderson comes back in for Schlattfeld. Serving is Barbara Fejica. Good pass. Bremner in the middle. Cacciamani dug up by Fejica. Chance for a Stanford point right here. Focal with the drive. Here comes Bremner trying to jam. Stanford has it now into the middle. And McNamee powers it through.
Paula McNamee, who went to a high school of 400 total students, their volleyball team actually served underhand. She had never overhand served until her first year at Stanford, and she is playing just some great high-caliber volleyball.
6 kills for her. It's 13-10 as Schoenfeld pops one through. She had a career-high 21 kills in the 2nd Stanford match early in the year, so she has confidence against the card. 13-10, Stanford by 3. Penn State serving. Left side, tip. Not there that time. You know, that's a great tip by Focal because she knows everybody's backed up in the Williams defense.
Well, if you're going to be digging Focal, you're back on your heels, digging in deep, and she's learned great finesse this year and varying her shot selection.
Best blocking front line in volleyball is up there right now. Cacciamani blocked. Left side, Schoenfeld didn't get much footwork done there. Sharply looking for point number 14. Zamitis with the dig. Bremner set left. Schoenfeld got it through. Walsh, will she set a quick? No. Left side, Focal. Her buddy puts it away. Kerry Walsh has a beautiful set of paws. That ball came out, as we say on the beach, nectar.
And because her hands are so good, Cacciamani has to hold in the middle in case she sets the quick attack.
First game point coming up, but not before a substitution. Jen Burtis, the 5'2" senior from Orwigsburg, Pennsylvania, checks in for Zemaitis. So Sharpley will serve. First game point. Perfect pass. Bremner into the middle. Schoenfeld dug up by Stanford. No!
McNamee felt it just a little too early.
I know I said it in the semifinal, but UC Santa Barbara coach Kathy Gregory, who has seen the Stanford team a lot, says this is the best digging Stanford team under Don Shaw that she has ever seen. Kathy Gregory knows digging because her Gaucho teams are phenomenal diggers. Cacciamani tries to jam it down. Here comes the ball right back over the net. 14-10, trying to terminate is Cochran, and she is rejected.
Boy, a frustrating play for Penn State. If Cacciamani hadn't have touched that ball, it would have been 4 contacts on Stanford.
Burtis goes out. Zemaitis comes back in. Game point number 2 for Stanford at 14-10. Kristen Fogle, been marvelous on defense. Cacciamani, dug by Fogle. This could be it right here. Trying to get the ball to Walsh. Bremner sets left. Cochran in trouble. Stanford, Walsh sets left. And the put away for Sarah Clark. Don Shaw's Cardinal has won game 1.
Great hands by Walsh, and Sarah Clark coming up big with 4 first game kills for the Cardinal.
1-0 Stanford. Will be back. Start of game 2 coming right up.
Polapulse, a kind of pocket light thing from Polaroid.
Let's go!
As a business traveler, you can choose from thousands of places to stay. But when it comes to renting a car, there's really only one place to go. National Car Rental. Because when you join National's Emerald Club, you can bypass the counter, choose your own car, and get on the road fast. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. National Car Rental.
Let's go!
Anything else?
No. Yes. No. Well, maybe. If you're not busy, maybe we can go get a cup of coffee.
Lee Riveted, the new look of Lee.
Tomorrow, it's a Hoops holiday treat on ESPN and ESPN2. First at 4:30, the Huskies boast one of the nation's most talented players, scoring machine Nikisha Sales. But Stanford has its own superstar, dominating forward Olympia Scott. Then at 7, Nashima Hillman leads the Commodores into battle against the Hawkeyes and their court general, Nadine DeMond. UConn Stanford at 4:30 on ESPN. Iowa Vanderbilt at 7 on ESPN2. The Honda Elite 4 Holiday Classic tomorrow.
We're back at the Division I NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. Stanford capturing game 1, 15-10. Don Shaw in his 14th year with 3 NCAA titles. Earlier this year, Shaw's Stanford team and Russ Rose's Penn State team played twice. Rose's team won, but Shaw's team was not healthy. We asked him if those 2 losses were positive or negative for his squad. This is what he said.
Well, I think on the negative side, they beat us pretty convincingly twice. On the positive side, it was so long ago. For one thing, I know we're a much better team now than we were then. I'm sure they're better now than they were then. But also, the incentive to win there is great. I know with our players, they know that you know, they got beat pretty soundly in those previous matches. But they also have a lot of pride and realize, I think, from experience, that this is the one that's the most important win.
When you look at the numbers from those 2 losses, the difference was in serving and hitting percentage. Penn State had 15 aces. to Stanford's 4. They also out-hit the Cardinal 30% to 21%. Right now, the Cardinal out-hitting Penn State almost by 100 points.
286 to 129. The percentage is very, very bad right now for Penn State. We start game 2, and Stanford gets the first point. Game 1, a nightmare for Penn State.
I think the key for Penn State in this second game is to keep the rallies alive with some defense. Stanford played some phenomenal defense in the first one.
Ball is blocked. It goes to McNamee, who was unbelievable in game 1. She has 7 kills. McNamee's career high is 14, so she's half the way there. She's hitting .545.
Yeah, the middles are definitely hot for Stanford. Stanford controlling the middle of the court right now. Fedjica hitting 43% to accompany that 54 by McNamee.
Net on the play. Now Penn State has to regroup. Bonnie Bremner, the setter, has to take charge. She will serve. Good rotation up front for the Nittany Lions. Into the middle, and McNamee. We mentioned it before, another telecast. One thing Lisa Sharpley does very well, number 2 in Cardinal, is she sets the hot hitter. She knows McNamee is hot. She's getting her the ball.
Keep going to her. And when you look at Penn State's middles in comparison, both hitting under 100%. So Kachiamani and Zemaitis have got to get more involved and hit more efficiently in game 2.
Shaky start here in game 2 for the Nittany Lions. Trailing 3-0. Bremner back set. Poked up by Sharpley. Focal, here she comes. Cross court, she's dug up. Out of the back line. Ball dug up. Zemaitis couldn't get good wood on it. Clark pops it over. Clark getting the start in this game. Bremner into the middle to Kachiamani. And she pounds it through.
And a brilliant set by Bonnie Bremner. She's got Walsh blocking on the right side, Focal blocking on the left. So why not stay away from the 2 best Stanford blockers and go into the middle?
First game, it was 5-0 Stanford. Game 2, it's 3-0 Stanford. Here comes Walsh. They soft blocker. Here comes Cochran. Cochran kind of aiming the ball now. Here comes Walsh. Off speed, should keep it in play. Hustling forward is Bremner. Tried to tip. Boy, Stanford is all over the tips now. Walsh. And was there touch? I don't think so. Ball whacked out of bounds.
Well, Carrie Walsh playing the best volleyball of the year right now, and you have to credit the training staff and Don Shaw for really saving her. A lot like a swimmer, they've been tapering her and making her peak for just this moment.
Coming around the horn and into the net goes Paula McNamee. So Penn State trying to fight back here with a couple of quick points. And serving will be Carrie Schoenveld. Into the middle, McNamee again. Kachiamani having no luck stopping the red-hot Paula McNamee.
Well, McNamee playing with so much confidence. She's also in the best physical condition of her life after competing for the women's basketball team last winter.
A serve for Kristen Focal. Focal, the last player cut off the 1996 Olympic team. A lot of people, including myself, thought she should have made that team as maybe a blocking or frontline specialist.
I agree with you.
Women's team could have used her. That ball is blocked. McNamee. McNamee is humming her first block.
McNamee and Clark with a great timing. Look at them side by side. They don't allow any seam for Penn State.
Anderson having problems hitting. She hasn't had a kill yet at 4 errors. And Kachiamani drives one home.
Lauren Kachiamani said by Russ Rose that she could play on the national team today. Well, she shows it there with a great cutback shot.
5-2, Penn State trailing Stanford here in game 1. McNamee takes another whack. Was that good? No, Schoenveld couldn't get there. So Penn State's starting to jump with McNamee. I guess the conventional strategy is not to honor the Stanford middles and load up on the outside as McNamee gets a rest. And Sarah Neal comes in. Brother Tyler on the men's volleyball team at Stanford, the team that won the NCAA championship this past year.
In fact, we've got 2 sibling groups, both the Neals and the Lamberts. Debbie Lambert, a sub for the Stanford Cardinal. Her brother Mike, also a member of that national championship men's team.
Lindsay Anderson with the serve. 5-2 Stanford. Walsh blocked. It isn't often you can block the great Carrie Walsh, but that should give Penn State some confidence.
A definite boost. Penn State has been used to controlling the net, blocking against their opponents all season long. In fact, they've only been outblocked 3 times this entire year.
Penn State with another point as Zemaitis jams it, and suddenly it's 5-4.
And suddenly they've evened up the blocking game. Restro said we have to neutralize one another in the blocking category, but we have to outdig Stanford to win.
Sharply sets left. Here comes Clark. Ball dug. Little jam by Clark. Bremner shoots it left. Rocker way off balance.
And again, she tripped. Just a show of frustration, she said, I keep on slipping. What happens in a long rally on this sport court, if you dive and you're a little bit sweaty, that stays right on the floor.
Temperature rather mild in here today. It's very cold outside, but it's certainly not hot inside. A little surprising we're getting some slippage. Down the line, great shot by Terry Zemaitis. Senior from Downers Grove, Illinois. A two-hand push shot. Score remains 5-4 Stanford. There is Sport Court. They call it the volleyball surface of the 90s. Very pretty, good to play on, but sometimes when it gets wet, as any surface does, you can go.
Yeah, because it's so forgiving defensively, it's nice and soft. It does get a little bit slippery.
Sarah Clark, she looked up at the net. There was Bremner and there was Zemaitis, so she chose Bremner and hit it straight down on the line. Clark with 5 kills. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox. In Spokane, Washington, the NCAA championship continuing. Run up by Walsh. Clark hits it cross court. And trying to get it out of there. And double contact.
Great up by Schoenfeld, saving her roommates. Blocked dump. Bremner and Schoenfeld, roommates off the court. And they're helping each other out on the court.
Terry Zemaitis has a strong serve. She had 34 aces coming into the weekend. Barbara Ifejiga drives it down. Now, Sarah Neal will go out, and the hitting star so far, Paula McNamee, is back in.
Just amazing numbers for Paula.
4 from her career high. They'll set Focal here, I think. Yes, they do. Left side, here she comes, and she goes over and down the line. She got a touch. Focal knows now that they're digging cross court, and she's starting to turn a little bit line.
Well, it's that Williams pull 3 infielders to the cross court shot.
Schoenfeld with a big blast. She's a sophomore from Portage, Michigan. Great semifinal, 344. She's played well all year. Stanford by 2. Penn State always trying to catch up, at least here in the first couple of games. McNamee again. She's on fire. Must have had the egg beaters for breakfast at the hotel, because she is pounding away. Stanford by a couple. Bremner sets left. Chance for a Stanford point here. They'll whip it over to Focal. Focal hitting high and hard. Schoenfeld. Focal hammer. Zemaitis is there. Zemaitis calling for it. Here she comes out of the back line. And it's no good. Point, Stanford. A big blocking front line with Walsh, McNamee, and Focal up there. This is where Stanford usually makes hay and scores a lot of points, and they get another one.
Lisa Sharpley playing a great match. She's very quick and agile. She didn't practice yesterday because of inflamed swelling in her knee. Had it drained, and I think that's paid off for today.
Timeout called. Stanford won game 1. The Cardinal starting to pull away here in game 2.
Are you ready? Wisconsin's winter could be one of the most severe in years. Get ready with the most dependable 4x4 truck on the road, Chevy, with the features you need, like InstaTrack, 4-wheel drive at the push of a button. Now get 2.9% APR financing on a new 1998 regular cab Chevy 4x4 truck. Don't get caught off guard for winter snowstorms. Get the #1 selling truck in southern Wisconsin at your Wisconsin's best Chevy dealers. Each dealer negotiates its own terms.
What makes you so tough? So what makes the New Holland Super Boom so tough? Everything. See your New Holland dealer today and put the toughest skid steer loader on the market to work for you.
Welcome back to Spokane, Washington. Stanford winning game 1, 15-10, leading here in game 2, 8-4. At the intermission, we will talk to that man, Mick Haley, the USA Women's National Team coach. We'll ask Mick about the players in the match and what he thinks. And we'll also take a look at the All-America team. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox, 8-4. Stanford and Penn State. Stanford's defense has been unbelievable, making plays like that. Spear jobs. Bremner into the middle. Anderson will stay in there now. Here comes Focal. So nice dig in the backcourt by Cochran. Here comes Walsh, and Walsh. She didn't get a great swing at it. You know, you think about Walsh, what a great hitter and blocker she is, but she's also a fantastic passer and a great defender.
Well, and I think the reason she's such a great defender, she spent all season focusing on that because she hasn't been able to take a swing at the ball.
Timeout on the floor. Penn State in trouble. Can the Nittany Lions come back in game 2? Stay with us. We'll find out.
Who says you can't buy taste? My clients do it all the time. Like, let's say I find the most amazing English high-back armchair. Then I better get it in front of them immediately or someone else will. That's why I value GTE Internet. In seconds, I can be online in Tampa while downloading huge files from an auction in Paris. I love shopping in Paris, especially when it's with someone else's money.
You wouldn't expect the diamond store to have $99 gifts, but we do. Like these quarter-carat diamond channel hoop earrings for only $99. And this season, with any purchase of $99 or more, you can also get this delicate rose box with a pair of classic diamond earrings for just $29. Only at Zales. Or on the World Wide Web at Zales.com.
The NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. We can tell you that there are women's hoops tonight on the Deuce, 12:30 a.m. Eastern, the championship game of the Northern Lights Invitational. We'll have that one live from Anchorage, Alaska. Number 1 Tennessee and number 10 Wisconsin. That'll be a great one. Well, right now we're live. We're right in the midst of game 2. Stanford won game 1, 15-10 after a great rally by Penn State. Got off to another quick start in game 2 and has assumed the lead.
And Kristen Focal has found the open spot in the Nittany Lions defense. She knows 3 people are digging her sharp cross court, so she's just top spinning it down the line.
5-0 run after a 5-4 lead for Stanford. Bremner into the middle. Kachimani is dug by Sharpley. Sharpley's playing great today. And off Clark out of bounds. And Lindsay Anderson gets her first kill. So and Lindsay Anderson, a key performer. She has to play well.
Yeah, she started every match this year. She's been the most consistent performer all year long.
And that might be the ugliest play that Stanford has made this year. So Penn State gets a gift point, and it's 10-5. Very similar to game 1 when Penn State was down 11-4, but then made a rally.
And Paula McNamee is unstoppable. Lauren Kachimani has got to figure out McNamee's number. She's hitting
588.
Excuse me, she's hitting 588, and that sharp cross cutback. McNamee has got to split her hands on the block.
10-5 out of the back line. Here comes Focal. Set left. Cochran rejected.
Look at the height on the block by McNamee and Walsh. They're very tall players. 6 foot for McNamee, 6'2" for Walsh. But Walsh also has a 10'7" reach.
Bremner sets the middle. Did McNamee block that, or did it come down on her? So she got the block. Penn State saying that didn't come over. And McNamee gets her second block, and Penn State has to take timeout. Now the Stanford Cardinal, the defending NCAA champions, looking like champions right now. They are up big in the national championship match, 12-5 in game 2.
Here's
my idea. Help me find a gift for my boyfriend.
Hey, Michael, right? Kim sent me over.
Oh, really?
Right, okay, to find out what you're looking for the holidays. You tell me which one you like, sweater vest or digital cell phone?
Cellular phone.
You're the man. Chihuahua coffee mug. A PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Flannel. The big TV. You want to get that?
Kim, when I see you, you're in trouble.
Finding the right gift at Best Buy. Now that's a great idea.
Computer or cheese ball?
Tonight could be your night. Because of the 3 extra inches. Or because you scored 27 against her last year. It could be your night because you hit your first shot. Because they switched to a 2-3 zone. Or just because you decided tonight is going to be your night.
Welcome back to the NCAA championship match here in Spokane, Washington. Stanford leading the match. Just moments ago, controversial play, Heather?
Not really. McNamee got clear over the net and truly roofed Cacciamani. That's been the difference in this match. Stanford 7 blocks to Penn State's 3. Don't forget, Penn State is 2nd in the nation in blocks per game.
That's when you know you're hot, when you're McNamee. You block it, you're not even sure where it went. And they say, hey, you just got a stuff block.
Up and you get it.
Yeah, you got a stuff block. She says, hey, this is my day.
Washington, the only team in the country that has blocked better than Penn State this entire season. Penn State's block behind Cacciamani has got to keep improving.
Lauren Cacciamani will serve. 12-5, Stanford leading by 7. National rankings, both are great. 3rd blocks, 3rd hitting, Penn State. 2nd in blocks, 2nd in hitting. Callum Miller is in the back line. Big glass there. Bremner will shoot left. Cochran taking something off now. Scooping left. Tip. Into the middle, McNamee. And the cross-court drive. The linesman didn't see it. And first referee, Vernon Klebnikin, is going to say in. I think that was a good call. It looked like it caught the corner.
Schoenfeld plays with so much confidence for a sophomore. In the semifinal match, she turned to Bremner in crunch time and said, you've got to give me the ball. I'm hot. And it worked.
Clark hits it straight down. Boy, the way Clark is playing in the tournament, you wonder why she's not starting all year. I know Gregory is a good player, Jamie Gregory, but Clark has played magnificently here in the semifinal. 6 kills for her.
And she does have the most kills on the season of the 3 people that are sharing that L2 or that other outside hitter spot, but she hasn't had a lot of playing time up until now.
Now, one thing I've got to question, why isn't Bremner going to Zemaitis? She's setting left a lot of the time.
Right,
I know the passing isn't perfect, but get the ball to Zemaitis.
And she's setting right into the huge block of Kerry Walsh, who I think is the best one-on-one blocker in the country. So go to your big gun, Zemaitis, in the middle, and make her challenge Barbara Fedchka.
Lindsay Anderson is going to go out now. And Emily Stout is going to come in, a 6'1 junior from Seymour, Indiana. Anderson has not been playing well, so he's going to try Higley. Down the line, there's Zemaitis. I think you got to get Zemaitis going. If she can't play well, you can't get her the ball, you're dead.
Yeah, and Emily Stout might be the person to bring Penn State back into this. Earlier in the year, Russ Rose said to me, Stout is the type of player that has to be on the court to win a national championship. She has that much knowledge for the Nittany Lions.
See, that's where you got to put it in. You got to sneak it to her. You got to sneak her that quick set in transition. Right here, center. Great up by McNamee. Walsh chopping, got it!
The old saying goes, offense wins championships or sells tickets. Defense, I can't even get it right. Defense wins championships. It's Focal and then McNamee with the backhand to keep the rally alive.
13-6. Bremner pops it over. Here comes Sharpley. Sets left Clark. And Clark again. Sarah Clark for president on the left. And now it is game point for Stanford. 14-5. As Walsh set to tee it up. Not that time.
Terry Zemaitis trying to rally the troops. She's a senior. She's a co-captain playing the last match of her college career, and she's doing everything she can for Penn State at this point.
Cochran had the serve. Focal fell down, maybe hurt. She struggles to get up. Kristen Focal, 24 in red, stumbled.
Actually favoring her left leg a little bit. May have twisted her ankle.
You know, I think she banged into McNamee when they were making the switch. They kind of, you know, I'll tell you what, women's volleyball players are getting big, and when you bump into one of your middle blockers, it's not like bumping into a little person anymore. You take a hit.
Stanford with 2 missed serves in a row on game point.
Lauren Cacciamani comes back in. And Terry Zamitis will serve. 14-6 is our score. Popping it through, Barbara Ifejika.
Stanford has dominated the middle of the court. Both Ifejika and McNamee having career nights. Ifejika hitting 45%, McNamee just a measly 56%.
Game point, number 2. Here comes Focal, and Zamitis digs it. Point blank range, left side, yes. Carrie Schoenfeld.
Schoenfeld with a very heavy shoulder. The key to blocking Carrie is you have to wait because her arm swing and her hang time makes her hit so late.
Sharply, quick set. Quick sets are working. She can set Ifejika or McNamee. McNamee now with 13 kills, 1 shy of her career high. And we're in game 2. Third game point, and it's another serve out of bounds.
Third missed serve in a row.
Schoenfeld. Sets left, nobody there. Chance for Penn State to get a point here. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Bad set, and the ball will go back to Stanford. 5th game point for Stanford.
Sarah Clark back into the front row for Dawn Shaw. Little higher block, more of an offensive weapon.
Into the middle, Cacciamani, yes. Attack the middle. Cacciamani now with 5 kills. And she will serve it from deep. Good serve. Clark goes and gets it. Walsh hits it out of bounds. Off the block. Walsh now with 6 kills and 3 blocks. Here comes Sarah Neal. Neal, a 4th generation Stanford player. Grandma, mother, father, uncle, and Zamitis. Boy, Zamitis having to do a lot of tipping simply because they're 2 on her every time, but making the most of her opportunities.
She has been very smart about where she tips him. 7 kills now. I think Bremner has to continue to push it to Zamitis as often as she can.
14-6, back set of Ifejika, not there. Barbara Ifejika with 8 kills. McNamee has 13, so the Stanford middles have done really well, and give a lot of credit to Lisa Sharpley, who's been setting. Game point number 7. Penn State hanging in. Zamitis. Left side, Cochran with the blast. If you just joined us, Christy Cochran got her front tooth, one of her front teeth, knocked out in the early going of game 1. Perhaps you can see it there. She's not smiling. Her team's behind, so it's tough to see. But started her day off very poorly. And once again, it's Ifejika. So perhaps part of Dawn Shaw's game plan was to set the middles, knowing that there would be a lot of attention to Walsh and Focal.
I think the Penn State middle blockers have to commit block on the middles until they can slow them down.
Clark with the serve. This could be it for Stanford. Little off-speed shot, poked back over. Sharply, jump set. Focal looking for termination, and she'll get it.
And what a perfect way to end the game. Great deception by Sharply, going to her hot hitter, Kristen Focal.
Stanford fans are feeling it. The Cardinal leading 2-0, and we're going to continue with our coverage of the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. Stay with us. We got the coach of the USA Women's National Volleyball Team coming up, Mick Haley. How will the Americans be in the year 2000? We'll find out right after this.
Gentlemen, I'm going to read you your rights. You had the right to be strong, to be healthy, to shine. The right to make your own choices. And when it comes to your hair, you have the right to choose Pantene Pro V. The Pro Vitamin formula gets in there, penetrating root to tip, improving it all. It helps keep your hair healthy, shiny, strong. Pantene Pro V, for hair so healthy, it shines. It's the right stuff.
Get ready to get creative. Get into a Rebel G. Go beyond snapshots. Experience the ultimate rush.
Cool.
Rebel G and only EOS lenses from Canon.
It's out there. It's ice, and it fears only heat. Driveway heat from Presto melts up to 4 times more ice than rock salt with no messy residue. Get driveway heat and kiss your ice goodbye.
Jim Harbaugh and Jay Lewenberg for 1-800-COLLECT.
Jim, next time you call me collect, call me 1-800-COLLECT.
Jay, give it a rest.
No, 1-800-COLLECT is 10 cents a minute every evening, all week long.
Yeah? Are we going to practice or what?
You should have used 1-800-COLLECT!
Think Jim's learned his lesson?
One more play ought to do it. 1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute every evening, all week long.
Who loves new Team Cheerios? The Stingrays were stung by them. Down south, the Barracudas are chomping them down. The Sharks are in a frenzy for them. Teams all over gave new Team Cheerios a tryout, and they loved it. Because it's 3 awesome O's teamed up and sweetened up with frosting and brown sugar for an amazing sweet crunch teams everywhere will love. New Team Cheerios is part of this good breakfast. And don't forget the mighty sand crabs. Yeah, they dug right in. New Team Cheerios, the taste teams love.
Welcome back to the NCAA championship match. Stanford dominating the first 2 games, leading 2-0. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox, and the new coach of the USA Women's National Team, former Texas coach, Mick Haley. Mick, glad you're with us. Your thoughts on the action so far?
Well, it's an extremely fine match. I mean, it's being played at the net, but the big people are playing great defense right now. McNamee's been the story. 13 kills here in the first 2 games. I don't think Penn State counted on that.
Mick, Team USA played Penn State earlier in the season. Surprisingly, Penn State beat you, the only college team to do that in 4 games. What are your words of wisdom for Russ Rose and the Nittany Lions right now?
Well, they probably need to get back to doing what they do best, and they haven't been as successful on the left side as they'd like to, but I think Zemaitis has to be more active in the match, and I think Russ knows that. If he could get the passing up there where they can run Zemaitis and probably get Katzimani more active. Their 2 middles have been dominating all year.
Mick, it says that the Marines are looking for a few good men. I know you're looking for a few good women. Which of the women in this match really impressed you? Who do you want out of this group?
Well, I think you have to look at both Katzimani and Zemaitis from Penn State because they're so physical and they dominate the middle. Obviously, Kristen Focal is one of the 2 best players in this tournament. Kerry Walsh and Lisa Sharpley over on Stanford, but there are other players here that could keep improving and get better, so we like this whole match.
Nick, when we look at the 4 teams that made it to the national semis, everybody's talking about the setters. You've got Misty May, Nikki Shade, and now Lisa Sharpley and Bonnie Bremner. Of those 4 setters, if you had to pick one, I'm going to put you on the spot, that could come and join your team tomorrow, who would you want?
Well, I think Misty May is the most physical, athletic setter we've had in the country in a long time. So obviously she's the heir apparent, but I can't have her because Brian's not going to give her up for at least a year. And Russ is not giving up Bonnie, so you got to eliminate those 2 right away.
So stick with Salima Davidson for
Absolutely. Now. Salima's our setter, and if we could get Sharpley or Shade or any of those kids into the gym, we'd love to have them.
Let me jump in here. We're going to show the All-American team real quick. Some of the unknowns, some of the knowns. First off, you want Misty May. Have you seen Sarah Noriega from LMU?
Sarah Noriega was on our World University team that finished 2nd in the world this summer. She's great. Sance is great.
One of your former players.
Amy Steele-Gant is going to be in Colorado Springs starting January. She's coming at mid-semester.
Okay, and you want Walsh and Zemaitis. Now, second page real quick. We're running out of time. We're live. We're humming.
Katie Crawford's one we haven't seen. Makari Desolé is going to be there. Of course, we'd like to come and get Focal right now. Nina Foster is going to be there. And, of course, Jasmina is not a U.S. citizen. So,
all right, Mick Haley, congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
work so far, and good luck, and get some of these women on the USA national team.
Absolutely.
Our careers depend on it.
And
good luck between now and 2000. We'll see you in Sydney.
All right, thanks a lot. Mick Haley, our guest. We're in between games. Stanford leading Penn State 2 games to none. We'll come back. We'll have more for you right after this.
Hey, what's better than Juki?
Juki gun. Juki gun.
I got this Juki caulking gun.
I drink 93,000 cans and I got this Juki sock. Oh, I got this Juki helmet.
Hey. I got the Juki sea captain. I got this Juki harness. I got a Juki hernia belt. Just like my favorite basketball player.
I got this Juki chainsaw.
Thanks, Juki.
There's one reason to drink something, and it isn't to get junk.
The NCAA Foundation supports programs that respond to the needs of student athletes. Programs include degree completion scholarships, Choices Alcohol Education Grants, Life Skills, Winning for Life, and Sports Journalism Scholarships. The NCAA Foundation, enhancing the present and future of student athletes.
This message provided by the NCAA.
What makes you so tough? So what makes the New Holland Super Boom so tough? Everything. See your New Holland dealer today and put the toughest skid steer loader on the market to work for you.
We depend on our cars. We can't afford to have them let us down.
And we don't want to spend money on unnecessary repairs.
That's why we have our cars serviced at Clausen Automotive. They understand the entire vehicle and keep us informed of needed service before it becomes a problem.
And they stand by their word. Last week they called me to make sure our vehicle was still running without any problems. Now that's customer service.
So when your vehicle is in need of service, come see the friendly people at Clausen Automotive. Conveniently located 3 buildings north of Farm and Fleet next to P&B Truck Accessories.
Welcome back to the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. Stanford leading Penn State 2 games to none. Well, a year from now, we are headed to Madison, Wisconsin. The Division I Women's Championship will be held in Madison. For ticket information, you can call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. John Cook's Wisconsin squad, 1-800-GO-BADGERS. They will be the host. They hope to be there, and we shall see you there, hopefully. All right, we'll come back. Can Penn State rebound? We'll find out right after this.
Zales has an exquisite 1 carat, or for just $1.99, this beautiful half-carat diamond band. And with a purchase of $99 or more, get this rose box with classic diamond earrings for just $29, only at Zales.
These days, we could all use more endurance. Say about 24 hours worth. I know I could. And now I've got it. Because now the Odor Fighter's a new high-endurance deodorant lasts even longer. New high-endurance lasts a full 24 hours. No one else is this strong, this long. Plus, it's got this new Pure Sports scent. So now you can smell better, longer. Guaranteed. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and Old Spice will buy you a stick of yours. Hey, no matter what you're into, now you've got all the endurance you need. A full 24 hours. Guaranteed.
Tomorrow Never Dies is the best Bond film ever.
Now I know.
Absolutely incredible. Suave, smooth, sexy. This is a must-see movie. Tomorrow Never Dies. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Great crowd on hand for the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. Right now, Penn State with a 2-0 lead. Of course, Don Shaw has to be feeling pretty good about himself. He's won 3 titles in the 90s, but you know, in the 80s, he was a hard luck coach. They said he couldn't win the big one after 3 failures. And let's take you back to Don Shaw talking about the feeling of winning his first title in 1992.
Well, it's the best. It carries you over for quite a while, and it's something you always have. I think winning that first one in '92 was just something that really took a load off as far as, you know, pressure and just, you know, self-imposed. Nothing to do with outside influence or outside pressure. It was just my personal you know, wanting to win a championship. And getting that one out of the way has made the last few years that much easier to deal with.
He had a big monkey on his back in the 80s, but he's jettisoned King Kong, and now he is the coach of the 90s, and it just keeps going on and on. He keeps getting great players. Obviously, he and his coaching staff of Denise Corlett and Ann Wicks do a great job because this team is very well coached.
It's amazing when you look at the players on his roster in the 80s with Kim Oden, Kristen Klein, players like that they weren't able to capture it. But what a difference a decade makes. He is like the Gen X poster, you know, he's the star of the 90s.
Stats, kills favoring Stanford, blocks favoring Stanford. That usually is enough to do it.
Just about everything is going the Cardinal way. What Penn State has to do is improve on defense, both at the net with their blocking and their backcourt. What you don't see is the digs. 53 for Stanford, 40 for Penn State, and they have to control the middle. Paula McNamee has been on fire.
Set for the start of game 3, Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox, and how about that? Penn State has the lead.
Well, Bonnie Bremner talked a lot during the intermission with Erin Tomlin, the assistant coach, who's a former setter out of San Diego. So she's working on a couple of different things in this game. I think she'll try and isolate her hitters a little bit more, get one-on-one opportunities, and try and go to Zamitis.
Penn State has its first lead of the afternoon with that first point and point number 2. We should tell you that it's only happened twice in NCAA women's volleyball history that a team has come back down 2-0 to win the championship. It happened in 1982 when Hawaii came back to win, and it happened in 1991 when UCLA came back to win.
And if it's going to happen today, Penn State has got to get that hitting percentage up at least to 250.
2-0 Penn State. They have to come out very, very aggressive and hope for a little letdown here. Whoa, what a great dig by Terry Zamitis. Schoenfeld wraps it through. If you're Russ Rose, did you go to the whip in the locker room?
He's much more of an intellectual coach.
Okay.
He might have yelled a little bit, but I think more he worked on tactics, some X's and O's, consulted that famous notebook to get some ideas about what isn't working for his team. This notebook that Russ Rose keeps every match of the season is documented in there. He keeps track of every Penn State contact. He rates them all numerically so that he can get a feel for how the match is going at every point rather than waiting for after the match to say, oh, we lost because of this. He can actually make the adjustments real time.
3-0 Penn State as that ball hit out of bounds, and now Lisa Sharpley will serve. This has been the rotation that has really done it to the Nittany Lions. The big block up front, and Lisa Sharpley in the back line. That ball tipped over. Nicely done. And so Penn State will have it.
That's a great boost that Penn State got out of that rotation. The serving rotation with Sharpley serving has scored 10 Cardinal points. One of the best rotations in volleyball.
Carrie Schoenfeld serving. She's been aggressive the whole afternoon as Focal pounds one over. Kristen Focal now with 10 kills. Stanford leads the match 2-0. Just the start of game 3. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox with you. Sarah Clark has checked back into the front line for Stanford in the left front. And the put away for Lindsay Anderson, who's back in. So Russ Rose back to his starting lineup. Anderson was yanked. Now she's back in. And Penn State in white will serve it up with Lauren Cacciamani leading 3-0. Sharpley, quick set. Boom! Chakalaka. Paula McNamee has tied her career high in kills. She did it against the University of Hawaii. And now she has done it here. And she is on her way to a huge match. Back set, Zamitis. And the first big poundage for Terry Zamitis.
Penn State kept to the same matchups that they won and getting Zamitis one-on-one with Sarah Clark rather than going up against Focal's block.
Bad pass there out of the back line. Here comes Focal. Tapes it. Schoenfeld with a dig into the middle. Zamitis. You can tell Russ Rose said, get the ball to our star. Zamitis if you can. Cochran tip. That's not working. They're right there. And Clark hits it into the bottom of the net. So maybe a little bit of a letdown by Stanford, and Penn State coming out sky high in game 3. Timeout called. We're coming back Penn State fans with a little renewed enthusiasm. Their team has the lead early.
The forecast for today calls
Some days it seems you just can't trust the weather forecast.
through our area, so there's a slight chance of flurries with no accumulation expected. There's very little moisture associated with this front, so it's nothing to worry about. In fact, I think we'll see some sunshine today, and won't that feel good, huh? Temperatures should be near normal for today.
At least you can trust your Simplicity snow thrower.
It's like a great day to get outside.
Those who know snowblowers, go to Hanley's.
It's freedom, baby, yeah! Yeah, baby, yeah! Hey, viva Las Vegas, baby! Work with me, people, all right. That's just groovy, baby.
See Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. It's right here on TCI Pay-Per-View. Check your local listings and see Austin Powers on pay-per-view.
Two very happy Penn State parents. Chuck and Julie Zemaitis happy about the 4-0 start. They actually almost didn't make it here to see their daughter's last collegiate match. They couldn't get an airplane ticket from Downers Grove, Illinois. They would have had to return after Christmas, so they flew out here. They are taking the train home to get home to Illinois in time for Christmas.
Tough travel from anywhere in the United States. So now Penn State leading 4-0, trying to get another point here with a block. They can't as Clark goes through the block. Christy Cochran on the left looks like she's lost a little confidence in her spiking.
Well, she's not only lost confidence, but a tooth as well. I'm amazed that she's playing as well as she has with the adversity she's faced.
Wall serving. Goes back over the net. Sharply. And a nice dig by Schoenfeld. Left side, Cochran, tip. And the put away. Barbara Fejica with the slap shot.
There it is, the big gape. I mean, it almost looks like she's got black chalk. That's how huge the hole is. Took an elbow to the mouth on the second play of the title match.
Ball served into the bottom of the net. And now Christy Cochran will serve.
We talk about Penn State's outside hitters, that they haven't been as hot, but I think they haven't been getting the sets. They've been up against two really big blocks, and they've been a little bit tight, forcing them to tip.
Yeah, you might be right. There's just a lot of sets going to the left and too many tips because Stanford has not let a tip go down virtually all afternoon. Clark now with 10 kills and a couple of blocks. Schoenfeld down the line. Good shot. Stanford's defense starting to rotate cross court. Schoenfeld with 13 kills. And now Terry Zemaitis will put the ball in play. Terry Zemaitis, a first-team All-America. Good serve. Shank pass. Penn State with a chance for point number 5. Free ball into the middle. Kachiamani with the drive.
Nice deception. Bonnie Bremner jumps up, holding the outside blocker so that Kachiamani is up one-on-one in the middle. That's the key. Get these middle hitters involved.
5-1. And the ensuing service error. The ball going back to Stanford. Stanford winning 27 matches in a row. 81 of its last 85 games. Bremner tries to blast. Cochran with a great play. Here's Schoenfeld. And she puts it away.
Christy Cochran lighting it up. Great instincts to her right. She's standing up, waiting for the ball to be contacted so she can go in either direction.
Fang with the roll. And popping that baby up. 5-1. Penn State starting to get a little momentum now. Stanford occasionally does this. They'll go through a little letdown lapse. And sometimes the other team can take advantage in the semifinal. Penn State, or make that Long Beach State, almost came back and won game 4 after trailing 12-3.
And what Penn State has done is they're committing a little bit more. Kachiamani and Zemaitis holding on the middle, leaving the outsides one-on-one.
Another point could be coming up right here. Zemaitis out of the back line. She taps it off the top of the net at 6-1 Penn State. Free ball. Trying to tip. Tips aren't working. Over the top. Bremner will set left. Schoenfeld. Boom! Great hit by Carrie Schoenfeld.
Well, she had 14 kills in the win over Team USA. Schoenfeld now with 15 kills on the night. She plays big in the big one.
7-1 is our score. Bremner will set Schoenfeld, who's been by far the best hitter for Penn State in this match. 2 blockers up. Schoenfeld rips it down the line. Walsh got a piece of it. Out of the back line, Clark whips it out of bounds. And Penn State is humming. 8-1 now. Substitution coming in will be Jamie Gregory, the sophomore from Westminster, California. And Bremner with the serve. Focal. Cacciamani. Whoa, and she got it. First mistake McNamee has made. That was kind of a weird little paw shot by Lauren Cacciamani.
And Cacciamani's putting up the big numbers, and it's been effective. She just hasn't seen as many sets as she's accustomed to.
And the ball spiked into the bottom of the net. Don Shaw is up. He's got 1 timeout remaining, and he takes it. Penn State, after losing the first 2 games, a vigorous pep talk from head coach Russ Rhodes and the Nittany Lions, up by 9.
Tonight could be your night because of the 3 extra inches, or because you scored 27 against her last year. It could be your night because you hit your first shot, because they switched to a 2-3 zone, or just because you decided tonight is going to be your night.
The only thing more unpredictable in nature is people, and I deal with both. You never know. Someone could be calling for a $25 titanium ice screw or a $25,000 expedition to Mount Everest. So I can't afford to miss a call. If I do, well, that means money. That's why I value GTE. Even out here, I know my calls aren't being dropped. Oops! Dropped. It's a bad word.
Welcome back to the national championship in Spokane, Washington. Stanford leading 2-0, but Penn State hot in game 3. We've got skiing coming for you. Join Bob Beatty and his crew for Chevy Truck Ski World from Vail, Colorado. Bob will visit with Morgan LaFonte, the snowboarding expert, who will explain Border X and Border Cross events. Coming to the Winter X Games this January. That's tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. on ESPN. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. Game 3 has been a complete turnaround. Stanford has come out flat. Penn State has come out on fire. And the Nittany Lions are taking it to the Cardinals. There's a bop right there by Paula McNamee, and she has a new career high of 15 kills.
The difference in this game has been hitting percentage. Penn State has stopped making the unforced errors, hitting over 400 in this 4th game.
Contrast that with Stanford, that's hitting .043. Big blast left side by Anderson, and it's in! It was dug, and Penn State let it go. Wow.
That is huge. You have got to trust your teammates. Everybody has to be calling that ball. A great dig and the pop-up.
You got to take that. If it's near the line, you have to take it.
Go.
Cross court right back. A good hit by Lindsay Anderson, senior from Crystal Lake, Illinois. Anderson with her 3rd kill. 10-2 is our score. I'm going to keep that play in mind, Heather. That gave Stanford a point. The drop ball on the no communication. And Walsh pops it out of bounds. 11-2.
So right now, Stanford has made more hitting errors in this game than they did in the entire 1st and 2nd games.
Off speed. 11-2 is our score. Down the line, Stanford scrambling. Gregory pops it, but can't get it over. Great hustle by Jamie Gregory.
So Stanford 7 hitting errors in this game, and just the beginning. In game 1 had 7 errors, in game 2 had 6.
12-2. Stanford trying to get back on track as Kristen Focal pounds it down. Focal with 12 kills. Don Shaw, keep in mind, out of timeouts. And Debbie Lambert going to come into the match for the first time. Number 15, a senior from Kaneohe, Hawaii. brother Mike Lambert, who starred for the USA national team and for Stanford's men's team. Debbie Lambert, she's lost her position this year because of lack of confidence, I've been told, and she didn't look very confident on that one, although last year she was great.
She was the queen of the title last year, had 10 kills in the 3-game win over Hawaii for their national title.
Miller is in to serve. 12-2 is our score. Cochran takes a big whack. Big difference when Cochran and Schoenfeld are confident. Cochran taking a big swing. It's 13-2 Penn State. Back set. Here comes Zamitis, and there it goes.
What a turnaround. Terry Zamitis is the type of player that is accustomed to getting plenty of sets throughout the match. Bonnie Bremner couldn't go to her early on, but now Zamitis getting in the flow.
14-2 as Stanford has looked awful here in game 3. Penn State, meanwhile, has played brilliantly. Russ Rose making the adjustments in the intermission during the Mick Haley interview, plotting and strategizing. And now Stanford will serve it up. Cochran whacks it and puts it away.
What Penn State's outside hitters have done is start going high hands rather than hitting low, trying to get seam and getting blocks. They're hitting high off the top.
And you'll notice they're not tipping as much now. So I'm sure that the coach said, look, don't tip on the left. They're getting every one. Ball was blocked, and that is going to do it. Game 3, Penn State all over Stanford, winning it 15-2. We're going to come back and we'll continue live with more of the NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Championships. Stanford leading Penn State 2-1, but the Nittany Lions are coming on.
I have a lot of fun playing characters that are impulsive and dramatic, because the real me is pretty basic. I'm even a little practical. Like a while back, I noticed I had some flakes. So naturally, I started using Head & Shoulders. Of course, it helps keep the flakes away. And if it leaves my hair looking like this, why mess with a good thing?
Head & Shoulders changes dandruff problems
Into beautiful hair.
Will she say, I love it? You shouldn't have. It's just what I wanted. Or will she say nothing at all? The Diamond Solitaire Necklace. This Christmas goes straight for the heart.
A diamond is forever. De Beers.
Polapulse, a kind of pocket light thing from Polaroid.
It makes you so bad. I was gonna explode. Do you have any toilet paper? Yeah, here. Wait a minute. Oh no, wait. I can't get out of here.
Great, thanks.
First 2 games, Stanford playing brilliant volleyball, but something happened to the card in game 3. Big letdown. Penn State blasts them. Now, if you don't know anything about volleyball, this is how it happened. Semifinal action, Penn State matched up against Florida. Penn State grinding through in 3 very difficult games, and Stanford getting by Long Beach State. Brilliant team of Brian Gimolero, 3-1. So here we are, and the teams going for the national championship. 1 and 2, 3-11. Game 3 negative.
And in that third game, Terry Walsh had 0 kills and 3 hitting errors. Walsh in the first 2 games had 6 kills. She has got to get back on her game, at the same time slowing down Terry Zamitis.
Question for you.
All right.
Was that a real game? Was Penn State that good?
Was
a real
game.
Stanford that bad? Or are we going to see the real thing in game 4?
We were playing for the national title. I don't think that Stanford ever gave up game 3, but I think the key right now is the start to game 4. Which senior team is going to take over? Stanford returns 5 starters from last year's title team. Penn State has the senior leadership of Terry Zamitis, but a very young starting squad surrounding her with 3 sophomores.
Very easy for the Nittany Lions in game 3. Let's see how they can do in game 4. Don Shaw perhaps making some adjustments. See how it plays out. Kachiamani is blocked. Bremner tip. Nice up by Focal. Focal coming hard. Tip. And got it. Schoenfeld. Good opening rally. Back set. And the put away. Barbara Afedjica.
Afedjica plays with so much experience. 2 years on the Canadian junior national team. A 4-year starter. She knows the time is now.
Schoenfeld blocked. Lisa Sharpley was there. A lot of people thought Lisa Sharpley should have made first team All-America. She missed the first 5 matches of the year because of knee problems. Made second team, but she is playing great in this one. Kachiamani is rejected. And so Penn State coming out very slowly here in game 4. Remember, if Stanford wins this one, it is over. Bremner, back set. Kachiamani got it. Into the corner, side out.
As long as Penn State can stop Stanford from scoring more than 2 points at a time, they have a shot in this one. They have to keep getting the momentum back with good side-out volleyball.
Bremner, good serve, but Walsh goes and gets it. Focal inside. Penn State can get a point right here. And they do, because Penn State attracts the net of Stanford. Can't touch the net at any time. And the first point for the Nittany Lions. First 2 games, Stanford led 5-0 in each. Game 3, Penn State led 4-0. As Penn State gets another point there to make it 3-2.
And the wall, Anderson and Kachiamani. Anderson is a great right side blocker. She turns both hands in so that Focal can't tool her.
Bremner continues to serve. Some diving going. Great shot by Lisa Sharpley. A back tip dump.
Instead of tipping with her right hand, she uses her left to go behind to that open left front court because the blocker is up.
Her first kill of the afternoon. 3-2. Bremner, and the ball was blocked for a moment, and it's going to be a point for Stanford. Good play by the middles. Paula McNamee getting the jam in there as Sharpley calling the instructions to Focal. 4-2 in game 4. And once again, the pass is over the net, and McNamee, you give her a kill or a block on that, Michael? You give her a kill. So Paula McNamee, her career high for kills was 14. She has 17 and working her way towards the all-tournament team.
Stanford continues to attack Cochran, making her pass about 80% of the balls in this match.
Off the hands. Here comes Focal. No, Jamie Gregory out of the back line. Set left. Anderson got it.
Watch how hot Lindy Anderson gets. She's one of the most focused players. She hasn't had a great match, but with her intensity and her competitive spirit, she's one that could get hot in this game.
Penn State needs all their players to be hot. So does Stanford, however. Focal going long. It's 4, make it 5-2. And on the left, Cochran blasts it out of bounds. So Stanford will have it back. 5-2 in game 4. The 20th hitting error for Penn State. Contrast that with Stanford. Stanford has 22 of its own. About 20 of them made in game 3. That ball was blocked. Focal and McNamee there.
You know, Chris, when you look at those numbers, they're a little deceiving. The difference has been Stanford has so many more kills because they're making good swings out of good sets, where Penn State is having to tip a lot of balls.
Stanford with its 10th block. Good defense. Kachiamani. Penn State just needs to settle down a little and pass the ball a little bit better if they want to hang in. You can't pass the ball over the net Now, Lauren Cacciamani will go out. Calna Miller is in. Miller, number 17 in white. Good defensive player. At the 10-foot line, here comes Focal, and Focal hammers it. And Zamaitis saying to herself, my fault. 13 kills for Kristen Focal.
College volleyball is going to miss this. What a hot, heavy shoulder. All 4 years, Focal has been the one to stop.
Sarah Clark is back into the front line. Oh, and Focal got it up. Zamaitis pounds it down. Big play there for Penn State. Nittany Lions getting a break when this one shuffled over.
Nice job by Bonnie Bremner running the slide. I think Zamaitis is going to be very successful running the slide and the three. She can't go head-to-head with the middle.
McNamee whiffed it. Scoop it left side. Set left, here comes Clark. And Clark is one of the few hitters that likes to go down the line. And most defenses, it seems, in women's volleyball predicated to move over to the middle. The line is wide open
well,
for her.
It's a perfect matchup for Clark. Bonnie Bremner considered the weakest blocker on this squad at 5'9". So why not take advantage of it?
Sarah Neal has come in. One of the only defensive specialists in Stanford history that's been on scholarship. Terry Zamaitis with the blast.
And the passing getting much better for the Nittany Lions. Schoenfeld and Cochran carrying the entire load, and perfect execution of a very top-ranked offense.
Christy Cochran with the serve. Great pass by Walsh once again. And the put away. Barbara Efejica with the blast. Quietly with 13 kills. Hitting .647. Efejica, 6'2", Stanford. And down the line goes Zamaitis. Terry Zamaitis with her 12th kill. Lauren Cacciamani back into the front line, and Zamaitis will serve. Game 4. Stanford leads the match 2-1. Live action from Spokane, Washington, and Penn State up high for a roof. That makes it 6-3. Penn State trying to peck away. Left side, Clark, cross-court drive, got it. Sarah Clark.
She started the season when Walsh was out with her shoulder injury, but then didn't have a whole lot of playing time mid-season. She's hot.
Clark with the serve. It's 6-3. Set left. It's dying, and it's hit out of bounds. 7-3. Stanford. Bremner trying to run it down. Back set. Set left. Here comes Focal. And Focal high out of bounds. Kristen Focal way over the block.
And a rare error because Cacciamani was very late to get there. Seam wide open for Focal.
Bonnie Bremner serving it. It's a 4-point lead for Stanford. Chance for a Penn State point right here. Bremner back set. Anderson, oh, speared up in the backcourt by Clark. And another spear, but that time it's not going anywhere, and Penn State gets a much-needed point.
And Lauren Cacciamani is giving it everything she has in this match. She's got 12 kills, but if you watch her in transition in the long rallies, she is making herself available to hit in every single play.
Jamie Gregory has come into the back line. Perfect pass for Gregory. And Barbara Efejica smashing it down.
Lisa Sharpley doing a great job recognizing when Focal is lined up on the left side and serve receive, Cacciamani lines up against her. So Sharpley goes right into the middle where Penn State doesn't have an experienced middle blocker.
Senior Paula McNamee into the front line. Ball poked up by Gregory. Over to Focal. And Focal crunches it. Kristen Focal was a Player of the Year candidate. We can tell you that it was announced yesterday late that Misty May, the fabulous setter from Long Beach State, was named the National Player of the Year. Most people thought that Kristen Focal was right in that competition, probably finished second. Well, right now, Kristen Focal, Stanford Cardinal, leading 8-4 in Game 4.
What if you could get what you wanted automatically? You can, with the easiest way to earn free gasoline, the Shell MasterCard from Chase. Shell, moving at the speed of life.
You know all those stories you hear about how good it was and how much fun we had and how young we all used to be, about how much it all mattered and how much we all cared and how no one has ever done it higher or faster or harder or better. All those stories you hear, they're all true.
Stanford in command at the moment, leading 2-1 at the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. We have some college hoops for you tomorrow. ESPN, the Honda Elite Four, game number 1, number 3, UConn at 9-0, taking on number 13, Stanford. Then here on ESPN2, the same arena, different network, Iowa and Vanderbilt. Crowd is going bonkers. I believe they've just announced that they've set a new attendance record. That's got to be what it is, and it's really a tribute to the people of Spokane, Washington. They're Washington State Cougars, not involved in the national semifinals, and yet still 2 sellouts both nights. Try to get you those numbers if we can. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. It's 8-4 Stanford. Penn State, what do the Nittany Lions have to do to come back now? They have to play error-free volleyball. All season long they've been successful because they haven't had the unforced hitting errors. And they have to stop Paula McNamee. 18 kills now, 44% at the net. We talked about it early. The winner of this match would be the one that controls the middle of the court. So far, Stanford's been that team. Ball popped up. Gregory got a hand on it, and she'll shovel it over. Penn State trying to get on a run here. Cochran, tip. It's recovered easily. Focal tip. That's out of bounds. Cacciamani with the serve. And the put away right down the hat. While showing it doesn't take power, it takes finesse. Running a rare 3 attack. You rarely see her hit.
Where are you buying your car?
So we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.
Good night.
Happy President's Day.
Movement tonight toward a possible diplomatic solution in Iraq as more U.S. forces are positioned to support a possible attack. Orphans of the storm, El Nino's relentless onslaught sends Northern Californians packing and trucking for safer ground. Possible clues to the deadly air crash on Taiwan. And Eye on America. If you think you can't be replaced by a younger, cheaper worker because of age discrimination laws, you're wrong.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. We're one day closer now to U.S. military action against Iraq or to a diplomatic settlement that will head it off. There is some movement on both fronts tonight. The UN Secretary General says he'll soon decide whether to make a last-ditch peace effort in Iraq. It's widely assumed he'll be going. A UN team is there already mapping presidential sites as part of a possible diplomatic compromise. And President Clinton is about to launch a renewed effort to explain in detail to the American public why military action may be necessary and soon. CBS News coverage begins with David Martin at the Pentagon.
The American troops unlimbering their tank guns today in Kuwait are really not part of the battle plan. They and about 3,000 reinforcements who will arrive later this week are just there to make sure Saddam doesn't try anything against Kuwait. Some of the F-117 stealth fighters that are part of the battle plan have still not arrived, delayed by bad weather en route. But it is only a matter of days before all the pieces for airstrikes will be in place. That prospect appears to be concentrating the minds of diplomats at the UN.
We're all very eager to ensure that the last possible efforts are made diplomatically to solve this crisis.
UN Secretary General Kofi Annan met late today with ambassadors from the U.S., France, Britain, Russia, and China. Before the meeting,
That will be the barometer next year in Wisconsin. Don't forget, 1-800-GO-BADGERS for tickets for next year. We'll be in the Kohl Center, and that record could fall if the Badger fans and volleyball fans around the country turn out for that one. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox, 8-6 as Penn State trying to come back, trailing 2-1. They blew out Stanford game 3 when Stanford fell asleep. And now game 4, Stanford got off to a big lead of 6-2. But now it is 8-6. Terry Samitis with some hammer.
Talk about heat.
Her best hit of the night.
She's led her team all season long, kills per game and kills, and she is hot now. 13 kills for Terry.
8-6. Focal out of the back line, blocked. Sharply sets right. Here comes Walsh over the top and on the line. Right on the line, so Stanford will have the ball back, and now Kerry Walsh will serve. Back set, Samitis is hot. Bremner knows it. She sets her again. So Terry Samitis warming up just in time. 14 kills, a couple of blocks, and an ace.
The good news is Penn State's hot. The bad news is Samitis rotates to the back row. She's got to score on some back row attacks as well.
Set her in the back row. You got it right. Here comes Clark, and Clark is stuffed by Lauren Cacciamani. And suddenly it's a one-point game.
Cacciamani, third in the nation in blocks per game.
That's her 4th today. Samitis continues to serve. Back to Efejica. Ball scooped up and poked over. Penn State could tie it up with a block. Tip and score. A scoring side-out tip. Wow, for Sarah Clark. She took a look. She was off balance, hippity-hop, and she got it down.
Just when Penn State's defense was starting to find a groove, Clark found the open court.
8-7 now. Stanford by 1. Bremner sets left. And the roof. The middle blockers are just going out on Stanford. 2 of them are heading right out to the left side.
Which means Bremner has to go to Cacciamani in the middle.
Or hit it herself. She's got to loosen it up. It's 9-7.
Bremner with just 2 kills in this match. She averages almost 2 kills a game.
Cacciamani inside. Good play. A little 3 to the step in, too.
You think she hurt us?
A little trickery. And Penn State will have it back. Penn State has never won a title. Stanford with 3, looking for 4. Sharply sets left, Focal. And Focal's tip goes off a hand and onto the floor. Kristen Focal with 15 kills. Great balance today for Stanford as Paula McNamee checks back in. With her, she brings 19 kills. Career high. Cacciamani. Focal, no.
Well, you talk about Stanford's distribution. They have 4 players in double-digit kills. Penn State with 4 players as well. Everybody getting involved. It's a very offensive battle.
Cacciamani, 14 kills and 4 blocks, 9-7. Penn State trying to catch up. Here comes Focal. And a chance for a point right here. Bremner into the middle. And Samitis has to play it over easily. And tipping it down. Penn State was there. Tried again, no. Set Focal, yes. Chance for a point right here. Cochran smashes it and is roofed. Lisa Sharply.
She's considered one of the best blocking setters in the nation. She's got the height at 6 feet, but the timing is what makes her so good.
9-7 Stanford by a couple. There is Lisa Sharply. She could be considered a candidate for the most valuable player in this tournament, as I think Paula McNamee should.
Now Stanford in its strongest scoring rotation.
Cacciamani. dribbles it down. Cacciamani now 15 kills, and she will serve. Terry Zemaitis back into the front line, and now Cacciamani will go out, and Miller will replace her. So Lauren Cacciamani playing very, very well here in Game 4, gets a breather. And Kalna Miller got to get it in, make it look good. Good serve, deep serve. Scoop to Fogle. Dug up by Miller. Schoenfeld. Oh, great play by Clark. Stumbling around, got it up anyway. Penn State, shaky. Cochran wraps it. Cochran again, she's got 2 on her. Long dink. Diving is a Petrica. And Fogle will play it over. A free ball for Penn State. Looking for the point. Zemaitis, slap shot. Not yet. There goes a Petrica. Another free ball for Penn State. Anderson, slap shot, score. Penn State now down by just 1. Trying to tie it up in Game 4. Miller serving. McNamee is blocked, and they cannot recover it. Penn State gives the ball back to Stanford.
And Christy Cochran a little slow to get up. Remember, she's battle tested. She's already lost a tooth that time. Took a knee in the thigh trying to cover up that block. There's the empty tooth.
Yeah, Game 1. She collided with Zemaitis, got her tooth knocked out, stayed in. She's tough. 9-8 Stanford, Game 4. This is by far the best game of the match, in my opinion, in terms of competitiveness.
Well, both teams are playing the style of volleyball that have gotten them this far. All season long, it's been behind Zemaitis and the middle attack and the block. Penn State finally doing that. Stanford playing good D.
And that serve is long. So Stanford retains a 1-point lead. Keep in mind, we're going to 15. No cap. Win by 2. Zemaitis in the front line. And here goes Paula McNamee.
Stanford really went after it against Long Beach in the semis, had 12 service aces. I think they know that they have to take risks on serve to score points.
Stanford up by 1. Set left, it's very low. And Stanford is going to get a free ball back. Into the middle, Walsh, goodbye. And Penn State's getting some chances, but they're not putting the ball away on transition. They could have caught up by now.
Well, all season long, they've kept the ball in play and then relied on their defense and their block to score points. So they need to keep digging and keep putting up a big block against Walsh.
Pretty good pass there, back set. And the ball hit out of bounds. Zemaitis caught the antenna, and now Stanford gets off 9 and hits 10. And timeout called. So the Cardinal up 2 now, as Don Shaw's squad just 5 points away from another title. Of course, if you followed women's collegiate volleyball over the years, you know that the 90s have belonged to Stanford. Of course, there have been some other teams sprinkled in there, but Don Shaw winning in 92, 94, and 96. But still successful even in the years they didn't. You know, 93 they tied for 9th after the title year, but they graduated 5 seniors. In 1995 they got beat by a great Texas team the year that Nebraska won it.
And for Penn State, they have never won it. Russ Rose in 19 years has never won fewer than 26 matches, seeking the first title. I think the adjustments that he makes coming out of this timeout will be the key to this match, whether or not they can stop the Cardinal momentum and win this game.
A lot of coaches around the country will tell you how difficult it is to win an NCAA title. Exit Stanford, Penn State #1. Hey, maybe 10-8 Stanford, and Don Shaw's team just 5 points away. Serving will be Kerry Walsh. Madison, Honolulu, Richmond, Virginia, and yes, San Diego, California, the future sites of the Women's Volleyball Championship, as it is all boiled down to this. Walsh will serve. Stanford in the Cardinal uniforms. Penn State trying to hang on here and get it to a rally scoring Game 5. Over the top, you can't think over Walsh. Out of the back line, here comes Fogle. And she is blocked, and Walsh goes and gets it. Spiker coverage again. Penn State needs to save a side out here. Ball popped up. There goes Walsh. There goes Walsh. She can't get there that time. Elongating to her full 6'2". Great hustle. Lauren Cacciamani back. Now a good strategy, Heather, is to serve Walsh short because she's huffing and puffing. Serve her short.
And there it goes.
Could be a point. Cacciamani. Oh, got it. Well, they served it short to Fogle, who was running also. That was a long rally. Fogle and Walsh running all over the place, and suddenly it's 10-9.
But how good has Cacciamani been at the net defensively? She's led her team 21 times this season, and she continues today.
Great play at the net by Lisa Sharpley. That should have been a point for Penn State. It was right over the net, but Sharpley got up there and jammed it down. 10-9, game 4. Stanford up 2-1. Live volleyball in Spokane, Washington. Now substitution coming in. Sarah Clark is going out, and here comes Jamie Gregory.
Gregory, known as a spark plug in the backcourt, keeps the ball up at all costs.
Pretty good pass into the middle. Cacciamani tip. Boy, the tips are just not working for Penn State. They're relying on the block and the dig, and they got one there. Out of the back line, Cochran off speed. Free ball. And for Fedjica, here she comes. And the ball dug back. Nice play. Penn State got the dig. Here comes Fogle. Fogle cross-guard. Oh, what a dig by Schoenfeld. Can she hit? No. Off speed. Fogle thought Fedjica was going to take it. Fedjica did. Bremner slap shot. McNamee pokes it up. Sharpley goes. No. Wow. I guess that wasn't the prettiest rally of the afternoon, but it was a good one.
And Bonnie Bremner, recognizing that none of her hitters were available, took it upon herself.
Bonnie Bremner serving. Down by 1, 10-9. Set to the middle. Bremner, chance to tie it up. Schoenfeld scoops it up. In the back row, Cochran. Into the middle of Fedjica, tip. Nobody can put it down. Zamaitis slap shot. 10-9 is our score. Fogle. And Fogle is blocked, but Sharpley spears it up. So here's Penn State free ball. Trying to take a whack at it. She does! Lauren Cacciamani ties it up at 10. Heather, the middles are suddenly struggling a bit for Stanford. They're setting them a lot, but they're whiffing a lot of balls.
Well, and Cacciamani and Zamaitis have been hot. They are playing great defense at the net.
Here's Fogle, and Fogle gently tapping.
That is the third time in this game that Stanford has been able to go off the hands of the Penn State block and make it just dribble back, the little waterfall effect, and Penn State hasn't been able to dig it up.
FYI, each team with 1 timeout remaining. Bonnie Bremner and her squad down 2-1, but tied here in game 4, 10-10. Bremner, one-hand set, kept in play. McNamee taps it. Bremner sets it. Schoenfeld whacks it and puts it away. Side out. Side out means possession. Carrie Schoenfeld with 17 kills. Zamaitis with 16. Cacciamani with 17. Those are the 3 big guns for Penn State. Good pass there. Stanford on the attack. The middles are hitting 0. Into the middle. Cacciamani is roofed. What a play there as Penn State just about to take the lead, but McNamee got the paws up.
One-on-one, the timing great, watching Cacciamani's shoulder and the rejection. Now all of a sudden Stanford in its best scoring lineup again.
10-10, Cacciamani hits it off the block. Going to get it is Sharpley. And a free ball. Bremner into the middle. Oh, and Gregory fell down. So each team has had 1 knockdown. Gregory had that one easily. She slipped and fell, and Penn State gets a break. Gregory, a great defender, like her daddy, Gerald, who played at Santa Barbara and on the USA national team. Cacciamani serving now. Fogle's backed up. Fogle, and a free ball to take the lead right now for the Nittany Lions. Freebie. Zamaitis, tomahawk jam.
Chris, if we go to 5, it is anybody's game. Rally scoring, a very happy Zamaitis family and Penn State crowd. And this is it, 4 points for the Nittany Lions.
11-10. Here comes Walsh. She whacks it off the block and down. What do you do if you're Stanford now? You're struggling a little bit in the middle. Do you start going back outside?
I think you have to. I think you have to go to Walsh right now in the front row. This is a pretty weak rotation for Stanford. Actually, Gregory now getting subbed out. Clark, a bigger block coming in, but I think you have to go to Walsh and then try and set Focal, the pipe, out of the back row.
Kachimani's really struggling in the backcourt. She is gassed, but trying to hang in there. Bremner back set. Zamitis puts it away. So your advice now is to forget the middle. If I'm getting this right, forget the middles.
Go to Walsh.
And to Focal.
And to Focal in the backcourt.
Substitution. Coming in for the first time today, Nikki Higley will check in, a junior from North Branch, Minnesota. So Higley is in. Anderson gets a rest.
Looking for defense out of Higley.
11-10, Penn State. Set left, here comes Clark over the top. And the dig made by Kachimani. Left side, Cochran. She got to take a whack at that. That's a point. McNamee. Bremner slaps it. Left side, here comes Clark. Down the line she goes. 11 all. No, check that. 11-10, excuse me, Penn State. That was a side out. Paula McNamee serving. Zamitis had to tippy toe. Walsh packs it backwards. Walsh spins, cranks it, dug up. High two in the middle to Zamitis. 3 on her. Tip. Out of bounds.
Zamitis showed tip so early up against a 3-person block. Needs to be more deceptive. Keep that ball in play. She knows it's her fault. Bonnie Bremner should go right back at her. Get the confidence back.
11 all. Set left, Cochran takes a big blast and puts it away. Christy Cochran, an important play there. So Cochran, her 11th kill, 15 digs to go along with that. And the serve misses. So now Kerry Walsh, let's see if Walsh can get the jumper in.
Well, she took a rest from the jumper. It looks like she's going back to it.
Here comes Walsh, 11 all, game 4. Perfect pass, Bremner takes a whack at it. Wolf got it up. Kerry Walsh in Stanford trying to figure out who to bump it over. Bremner back set, Zamitis. Right there is Focal, chance for a point. Walsh puts it away.
Kerry Walsh with an amazing hustle and watch sharply leapfrog over Walsh to keep it up.
Stanford regains the lead at 12-11. The Stanford Cardinal just 3 points away from the NCAA title. We'll come back right after this.
Polaris says ride the best and get a cruise. Buy one of these and get one of these. Or buy one of these and get one of these. Or buy one of these and get one of these. Ride the best and get a cruise. Purchase any Polaris personal watercraft now through February 1998 and enjoy a cruise for 2 on the fun ships of Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
What a fun ship, holy cow, you'd never believe it if your friends could see you now.
Limited time offer. See your local Polaris dealer today.
Shoulder mounted. It weighs just 4 pounds. But it's the most powerful weapon this individual learns to use. Because this weapon is the mind of a Marine.
It's one thing to say you're proud. Now pick up the phone and prove it.
Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox back at the Spokane Arena. 12-11 Stanford, and what makes Kerry Walsh so great? Hit, block, and play fantastic defense.
You name it. Well, she's local. She's out of Los Altos, about 10 miles south of Stanford, and ever since she could walk, she said her goal was to get to wear the Cardinal color and play at Stanford.
Stanford by 1, Penn State. There's the tip that's open. I was thinking on the last tip when 3 blockers were up, Zamitis went to the left, but the open spot is really to the right when nobody rotated up. So Terry Zamitis will serve. Stanford by 1, 12-11, game 4. Good pass there, set left, here comes Clark, and Clark hit it out. Clark, we're told, has a career high of 14 kills, but she hit that one out, and now it's 12 up. Playing to 15, win by 2. Oh, and the serve into the net. So Penn State making some costly service errors and not getting their chances, Heather.
8 service errors with just 1 ace for Penn State.
Now serving will be Clark. 12-12 is our score. Bremner sets middle. Cacciamani. Stanford is there. Chance for a point. Efejica going around, and she gets it. Barbara Efejica. Taya Sharpley likes to go to that slide in transition. Now Stanford up by 1, 13-12.
Efejica and Sharpley have started together for 4 years. They have the timing down by now.
2 points away now. Penn State out of timeouts. Serving is Clark. Bremner slap shot, yes.
The sophomore decides to take it over. I'll side out for myself. Bonnie Bremner has been quarterbacking this team for 2 years. She's a true leader out there.
Bremner will serve it. Down 13-12. And over the net. Penn State reached over to block the set. Can't do that. And the score remains 13-12 Stanford. Barbara Efejica will serve it. Passes off. Set high. Stanford with a chance for 14 right here. They go to Focal. And Focal is dug by Zamaitis. Left side. Here comes Schoenfeld. Efejica digs back. Back to Focal. The big gun. The All-America. She's dug again. Bremner sets left. Schoenfeld. She puts it away. Carrie Schoenfeld. Keeping Russ Rose's squad in there.
Who didn't even make her 5th grade volleyball team, leads this team with 19 kills.
Penn State trying to tie it up now. They're down by 1, and they do! They stuff Kristen Focal. 13-13 timeout Stanford.
Don Shaw calls his 2nd timeout. Neither coach with any timeouts. I think it comes down to the blocking, Chris, for Penn State. They're going to keep the ball in play. The block has got to score points. They won't take a risk on their attacks. They will just keep it in and wait for Cacciamani to make it happen.
So now Penn State will have the serve. Do you serve away from Kristen Focal? You almost know Walsh or Focal is going to get this one.
Well, I think rather than serve away from a player, you serve an area where you take away their favorite set.
Okay.
Try and serve cross court so that Focal has some trouble getting her offensive rhythm and running her pattern.
Or how about serving short to Focal, making her move up?
Clog up the entire middle of the court. Either one of those will work.
The Pac-10 champs against the Big Ten co-champions, Penn State and Stanford. Sellout crowd. We want to thank all the people here in the state of Washington. What a great tribute to the fans up here. A sellout despite Washington State. The organizing committee, the NCAA committee. We could be going to 5, so it might be premature. It's 13-13 as Stanford and big gun Kristen Focal come back out. Serving it will be Carrie Schoenfeld.
Zamaitis looking very cool and calm.
Tough pass. They'll whip it to Focal. And Focal whips it to them. Kristen Focal. And now Stanford goes into the best rotation in women's volleyball. Sharpley serving, Walsh, McNamee, and Focal up front.
The last 2 times Stanford's been in this rotation, Penn State's been able to side out immediately.
13-13, Cacciamani. Not that time, Sharpley. Walsh tries to shoot it over. Oh! And they call. Was it 4 contacts or a lift? It was a lift or a double contact.
That is a tough time to blow that whistle.
14-13. Stanford gets it. Now Stanford has championship point. Bremner sets Cacciamani. Off balance. This could be it. Focal for the win. Not yet. Bremner sets left. Cochran drives it down the line.
Tough as nails is Christy Cochran.
Now Penn State gets a break because their big gun, Terry Zamaitis, is back in the game. Into the left front. 14-13 Stanford. Right side, Walsh taps it. Penn State can tie it up right here. Set left, Cochran. No, Cochran is roofed. Set was awfully tight, and Walsh is out there. And now Stanford's Kristen Focal. Maybe nearing the end of a fantastic career. Will serve it. Second championship point. Penn State trying to hang on. Bremner, Samaitis. Blocked. Samaitis will set left. And this could be it. Stanford free ball. They'll go to Walsh. Walsh. No! She's rejected.
Samaitis moving over, knowing it's do or die. You have to stop it now.
14-13 Stanford. 14-14 as Penn State gets the overpass.
You knew if they were going to come back, it would be behind the shoulder of Terry Samaitis.
You have to win by 2. There's no cap. Stanford struggling a little bit. They'll set Clark. No timeouts, and she is roofed too. Terry Samaitis with the stuff. Now Penn State will have its first game point. Anderson will serve. Down the line she goes. Stanford needs a kill. Oh, a free ball. No, it's jacked out of bounds. Wow, it was off the block. It looked like it was going to be an easy play, but it wasn't. Here comes Sarah Neal. Out goes Paula McNamee. So Neal will serve. That's a good sub for Stanford, getting their defender in there. 15-14 Stanford. Is down, I should say. And that ball, was it touched? No touch. So now it is 15 all. Tied up.
Look for Bonnie Bremner to continue to go to Samaitis in the front row.
Passes off the net. Here comes Samaitis. Smacks it. Set high left. Here comes Clark. Going to get it was Penn State. And a free ball for Stanford. Looking for Walsh on the X. Walsh is rejected. Penn State's block, Heather, you said it. Coming up big.
Penn State all of a sudden with 10 team blocks. Stanford still has 14, but Penn State has made the difference with its defensive net game in this one.
One of the great games in NCAA championship volleyball history. Coming in, she hasn't been in a while, the Brazilian Leilani Schlattfeld. And going out is Christy Cochran. Schlattfeld serving. 15-15. Here comes Walsh, and Walsh gooses it through.
After the last X play, Walsh asked sharply to lower that 2 set a little bit. That's exactly what she got for this kill.
Keep in mind, no cap. It could be 32-30. 15-15 now. Stanford with the serve. Into the middle, Samaitis. And this, Heather, I think is the best chance that Penn State has, because both Focal and Walsh are in the back line for the only rotation.
I agree with you. Samaitis moves into the back row, but Ketchiamani has been so great at the net.
15-15. Who do you go for if you're Sharpley? She goes to Clark. She's blocked. Cacciamani swings at it. Ball dug up by Walsh. And a free ball to Penn State. Penn State to take the lead. Set left. Schoenfeld. Got it!
The big gun who has no fear. Schoenfeld, don't forget, is only a sophomore. In the semi, she said, Bonnie, you have to set me. She's doing the same in the finals.
16-15, the second game point for Stanford. Keep in mind, Stanford had a match point. Focal out of the back line. She's done. Penn State can do it right here. Schoenfeld. No, she's blocked. Bremner slaps it over. Into the middle, and the ball is hit out of bounds. And we are going to game 5. A come-from-behind thriller for Penn State after facing championship point 2 times. Russ Rose's squad pulls it out. So now we go to the 5th and final game. Rowley scoring. East and West for the national championship. Right after this.
Behold, a technological breakthrough. Prestone Windshield De-Icer washer fluid. Unlike many blue washers, Prestone guarantees it won't freeze in your reservoir. Prestone De-Icer washer fluid. Wipe out ice in your lifetime.
They sweat more. They strive to find their way on a road that few have traveled. Why? Because we took away their team jerseys and 4x4s.
All right, here comes the ride.
So you can win them in the Sprite Under the Cap game.
Howdy, fellas. Yo, where's the subway?
Here's my idea. Help me find gifts for under $30.
Hey, Richard! How are ya?
Hello.
Clear the way, Best Buy Idea Box coming through.
Whoa.
Grab one of these.
I love Dustbusters.
Clean your car out. Music, video games.
No, this is not.
That's under $30.
Wow.
A CD player.
Very cool.
Headphones, computer software.
Perfect. Woo.
Richard, sit down. Those are under $30. Can you believe that?
Gifts under $30 at Best Buy. Now that's a great idea.
At Zales, the diamond store, we also have a lot of $99 gifts, like these quarter-carat diamonds for just $99. And with any purchase of $99 or more, get these classic diamond earrings for just $29 at Zales.
With ESPN magazine coming out, I really hope they take every precaution to avoid the coveraging situation. Something that's plagued me my entire career. Tiger beating 93, I sprained my ankle. Model Railroader 96, I went into a 5-game slump. Cat Fancy almost ended my career. I know one thing. I'm never doing Cat Fancy again.
Back at the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, Russ Rose, 19 years in the business on the left, looking for his first title. Don Shaw, 14 years in the business, looking for his 4th title. It looked like Don Shaw's squad had it wrapped up in game 4. They were up 8-4. They actually had 2 swings, one by Walsh, one by Focal for the match and the championship, and could not put it away. Why? Because the woman who was supposed to block and supposed to kill did in game 4.
We talked about the middle attack for Penn State that had to get involved. Ketchiamati and Zamitis combined for 21 kills and 8 blocks in that 4th game alone. Zamitis had 12 kills in that game.
There has only been one other rally-scoring 5th game final, and it was in 1991 when UCLA beat Long Beach State. Here we go. Sellout crowd. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox, we're still pumped up after a thrilling game 4, one of the best played and most intensely.
And at this point, you can erase the previous 4 games. It comes down to what we've talked about all day, controlling the middle of the court. The team that does that wins the title.
It's a point on every play, rally scoring right off the bat. The ball put away by Barbara Efejica. So Stanford leads it 1-0. And now Barbara Efejica will serve.
Penn State coming out with a new look now for the first time today. Zamitis starting left front. I think Rose wants to get her involved immediately. Forget the matchup, trying to stay away from Focal.
Paula McNamee checks in for Neal, who was in for 1 play. You have to use your subs fast in rally scoring. Into the middle, Zamitis, slam dink, got it. Terry Zamitis. I'm not sure if you said it, Heather, but had 12 kills in game 4. Cacciamani had 9. They each had 4 blocks, so that was a big story in game 4. 1-1, the 5th and final game. McNamee is blocked. Trying to slap it over. Schoenfeld pops it back over. And off speed, nicely done. Beautiful. Lisa Sharpley. Stanford 2, Penn State 1. Serving short. Back set, here comes Zamitis. Zamitis is blocked, poked up. Bremner shoots it. Set left, here comes Focal. Focal's mad, and she hammers it.
Great recognition by Focal, recognizing that Bonnie Bremner was stuck in the middle after Zamitis went behind for the slide. If Focal had tried to pound line, she would have been stuck.
With the Penn State switch, Focal and Zamitis are now head-to-head. Number 5 in white. And, of course, Kristen Focal, number 24 in Cardinal. Early 3-1 lead for Stanford. Bremner tries to jam it, and she can't. 4-1 Stanford.
Ball control critical.
Bremner into the middle. Off Walsh. Bremner again. And there's the tip that is open. Beautifully done by Terry Zamitis. That makes it 4-2.
In the fifth game, you have to play error-free volleyball, which is what Penn State is very good at, keeping the ball in play, using defense to score points.
Contrast that with Stanford, that is used to killing the ball. Up at the net. Oh, Walsh. The ball went right up, and that's going to be a point for Stanford. Termination game is Stanford's calling card, and they're doing it well. They have a 5-2 lead. Now, Sarah Clark will come in the front line for Jamie Gregory.
Bonnie Bremner running a split hitter attack. Schoenfeld and Zamitis at the pin.
5-2 is our score. You got to be careful. Schoenfeld. Walsh got a piece of it. Back set. Walsh unravels. Ball dug up. Anderson off speed. Efedjica diving. Here comes Clark looking for line. Yes, she is. Sarah Clark. Clark with a career-high 16 kills in this final. That makes it 6-2, and Penn State in trouble. Calls timeout. Fifth and final game. Stanford leading Penn State 6-2.
Donovan, pro mountain bike champion. Monty, go ahead, cross the line.
When sports cream? When legs are sore. When backs ache. When muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Rubbing it in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. Why sports cream? Because it works.
If you're feeling a slight chill, warm up at Red Lobster with succulent lobster tail, sizzling shrimp, and steaming snow crab. It's the ultimate feast with free dessert for a few weeks only at Red Lobster.
Fifth and final game of the NCAA Women's Division I Volleyball Championship. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox, Game 5. And it's 4-2. Just moments ago at 4-2, Heather, that could have given Penn State a needed boost.
But instead, 2 stuff blocks for Kerry Walsh. Don't forget, she was the MVP of this championship game a year ago.
Stanford's Focal serving. Penn State needs to put one down right now. And they do. Terry Zamitis has Kristen Focal rotated to the backcourt. Kind of an interesting matchup now. Zamitis, who had been matched up against the smaller blocker, going against Focal. So Lauren Cacciamani, number 2, you saw her check back in. 6-3 is our score. It's point per play scoring. Clark down the line, dug up. Here's Cochran off speed. Into the middle. Oh, that ball stuck right in the middle of Walsh's hands. No call. Schoenfeld. And she is stuffed. Wow.
That's the first time in this entire match I've seen Schoenfeld be a little tentative on the attack.
5 blocks for Walsh. Walsh, oh wow, that ball. Didn't you think that stuck?
It was a little sticky.
Little sticky.
Rested a while.
7-3 now. Sarah Neal is back in. Stanford's trying to turn it on. Neal makes the dig. Out of the back line, here comes Focal. And Focal hammers it.
And that's what both of these teams have to do. Their big guns are in the back row right now. The key is who can get the ball to Focal and Zamitis for the back row attack. Kristen Focal going up, getting her 19th kill on the night. She's been effective on every rotation because of the back row attack.
Midway through the 5th and final game, NCAA rules, you switch sides. Penn State now on the right side of the court. Stanford on the left side. Stanford leading 8-3. Hard to catch up in rally scoring. It's not like conventional scoring, so Penn State has to make a move here very, very soon. Neal serving. Good pass. Bremner sets left. Schoenfeld. Walsh was on her. That was a good re-block. Coming back over. Into the middle. Cacciamani drives it home. They're moving Walsh around on the block, so you never know where she is. But if you're the setter, Bonnie Bremner, you better figure it out.
Yeah, she has to find her on every play and set the hitter away from Walsh.
Stanford by 4. Ball is blocked and down. That is legal, and the ball is hit out. No, it is not legal.
It is legal to kick the ball.
They're going to say it's 4 contacts. One,
There's 1. There's 2.
3. No, that's only 3. That's only 3.
Ball played below the waist intentionally. Violation.
That is a new change in volleyball. You can dig with your foot. You can go and kick it. Any part of your body is legal.
All right. 8-5. And now 9-5. So Stanford will have it, leading 9-5. Walsh into the middle. Down the line, Walsh makes the dig, sharply scoops it left. Here comes Clark. Clark hits it through, and it cannot be retrieved out of the net. And Stanford now in a commanding position at 10-5. And Walsh serving. So time running out on Penn State, and they'll take time out. We're going to take a short break. We're coming right back. The 5th and final game. Stanford coach Don Shaw closing in on another NCAA title.
Just like Paul Bunyan, the '79 Oakland Raiders, and those guys in Star Wars, the snowmobile racers are the last great American folk heroes. I sold out arenas and racetracks for the same reason crowds brave the cold, to watch these kids put one of those babies 40 feet in the air. Because this country has always had a place in our heart for anyone with the guts to strap on a helmet, take on the odds, and stick it to the man.
The Winter X Games, presented by Volkswagen.
For years, snowboarders, knuckle dragger, and skiers have shared an uneasy truce: the equipment.
Two-planker.
The clothes.
Who's your tailor?
They agreed.
Dweeb. Delinquent.
On nothing. Until now. Introducing the Volkswagen K2. Tricked out for frosty weather with a roof rack and a K2 snowboard or a pair of K2 skis. Thus, the Cold War ended, and there was peace in our time. Jetta K2 now available. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
Kristen Vogel looking for her 3rd NCAA title in the last 4 years. The most successful senior class in history, just 5 points away from victory. Penn State and Terry Zamitis trying to hang on here, looking for the miracle comeback. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox. Carrie Walsh set to serve. Penn State in white needs to put the ball down early and often now. And they don't. Barbara Afejica, who finally made first team All Pac-10 this year and got some recognition with the roof.
Penn State's going away from its bread and butter. They have to get back to the middle attack.
Here's Walsh again. It's 11-5. Bremner into the middle. Cacciamani slams it home. So a point is scored. Once again, it's rally scoring or point per play. And it's 11-6. Sometimes a rally can start with a little kill like that. Now Carrie Schoenveld will serve. Good pass, sharply back set. Afejica. Penn State will try to turn it. Low left, and Cochran comes through.
Christy Cochran hitting low and tight, racking up her 13th kill.
11-7 now. Schoenveld serves. You miss a serve, it costs you a point, so you have to be careful. Down the line, Sarah Clark. What a weapon she has been in this championship. She has 18 kills and a couple of blocks. And now she will come out and give way to Jamie Gregory. Penn State out of timeouts. It's 12-7.
Stanford with 1 hitting error in this match. Penn State 4, in this game.
Cacciamani again. Good set by Bremner. 12-8. Cacciamani 20 kills, 4 blocks. Now she will come out. Alna Miller will come in. Kristen Fokel is now in left front. And so is Terry Zamitis. Set left. Here comes Fokel. And the ball could not be retrieved. Stanford 13. Penn State 8. Stanford now just 2 points away as Barbara Fejica will serve. Into the middle, Samaitis with the blast. 13-9. But you can't trade up now. Penn State needs a block or a dig.
Both of these teams with amazing records in the last 4 years. Stanford with 4 of its 5 seniors on the floor right now. Experience has got to be a factor.
McNamee is dug sharply, looking for McNamee again. Dug again, scooping for Cochran. Set left, here comes Focal. Great dig by Schoenfeld. Can she get up and hit? No, nobody there for Penn State. 13-9 is our score. Set left, here comes Focal. Tip. Nicely done. Kristen Focal. And now Stanford, which won it all in 92, 94, and 96. Don Shaw will serve it up. Lisa Sharpley serving, and this could be it. Who do you set? You got to go Focal, don't you? Kristen Focal. Termination, and it is over. Stanford has won it again. Senior class of Kristen Focal, Debbie Lambert, Barbara Fejica, Paula McNamee, and Lisa Sharpley win their 3rd NCAA title, the winningest group of players in the history of college volleyball.
The first team to claim 3 titles in a 4-year span, the 4th title overall. Stanford is truly the team of the 90s.
Don Shaw, the first coach with 4 NCAA titles, breaking the tie with Andy Banikowski of UCLA and Dave Shoji. A magnificent season by Penn State and Russ Rose. They finished 34-2. But this afternoon belongs to Stanford. The Cardinal too much on this play. The big gun, Kristen Focal, not her most impressive hit, but the one that gave Stanford another title. We'll come back and wrap it up for you right after this.
800-micron PC. Computers now we ship for free. Holidays should be so easy. Very, very fast delivery. Time to update your computer with award-winning technology. Intel Pentium 2 processor. 1-800-micron PC. Best performance for the price. Every gift should be so nice. 1-800-micron PC.
Hey, Santa, get this Micron Millennia with 233 megahertz Intel Pentium 2 processor for $19.99, including printer and monitor. Or this Micron Transport with 166 megahertz Intel Pentium processor with MMX technology, 12.1-inch active matrix display, and 56K fax modem for $24.99. Call 1-800-MICRON-PC for award-winning support, free shipping, and very fast delivery with your Micron Computers Now system.
8, 37, 29, 25.
5, 38, 24, 9.
19, 10, 20, 26.
Everybody has their favorite numbers.
12, 34, 22, 3.
Numbers that mean something special to them. These are the numbers of their favorite channels on TCI Cable. Your window to a world that's big enough and wide enough and deep enough to touch us all.
18. Definitely 18.
There's something for everyone on TCI.
If you want to customize your truck, we've got you covered. Truck Central Light Duty Truck Center features the largest selection of truck toppers in Wisconsin. Fiberglass toppers from $4.99. Aluminum toppers from $2.99. Full-length fiberglass running boards painted and installed $5.99. Metal running boards from $99. And we also have high-quality used trucks you've been looking for. Truck Central, located on I-90-94 at Lodi exit number 119. Call 1-800-TRUCKS-1.
The NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Championship has been brought to you by Polaroid. See what develops. What developed here in Spokane, Washington, was excitement all the way. 5 games, Stanford pulling it out in the 5th and final game, 15-9. Let's go over to Heather Cox with 2 happy winners.
Thanks so much, Chris. Indeed, 2 happy winners. Congratulations on yet another national title. Carrie, how gratifying is this for you, knowing that you missed the majority of the season with a shoulder injury and you're finally peaking at just the right time?
It feels amazing. I'm so thankful that we won. It was the toughest match I've ever played in by far. I'm so proud of my team, and it feels great to be able to peak at the end, and it feels good.
Kristen, how worried were you with the Penn State comeback and the fact that you had to go to 5 games?
I was very worried. I know Penn State is an excellent team, and they have All-Americans and Bonnie and Terry, so we knew they weren't going to give up, and we knew it'd be a battle till the end.
You're part of a senior class that's the first to win 3 championships in 4 years. Which one means the most to you?
I'd have to say this one. To win your last match ever of your college career, it feels pretty special.
It's very special indeed. It was fun to watch. Congratulations to both of you. Enjoy the celebration. Chris, back to you.
2 very successful volleyball players, Kristen Fogel and Carrie Walsh. And how about that man, Don Shaw? They said he couldn't win the big one in the 80s, and now he is the king, the big cheese, the head honcho of the 90s as his Stanford team wins it 3-2 over a very tough and proud Penn State team. Well, coming up next, stay tuned. We've got the world's strongest man competition. That'll be next right here on The Deuce. We hope you enjoyed our live volleyball action today. For Heather Cox, I'm Chris Marlowe saying so long from Spokane, Washington, where Stanford has won it all once again. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.